Richard.com Bowl, TCU and Texas A&M. Mark Malone along with my broadcast partner, Coach John Cooper. Rob Stone is down on the football field. Casey Printers is a guy that is a big-time quarterback, but he's found a big-time target.
Yeah, he's not only probably their best player, he may also be one of their best recruiters also, Mark. Last year, Printers, through mutual friends, met wideout Adrian Mediz, who was concluding a junior college career and needed a place to continue playing football. So the two of them started casually working out in Fort Worth, and Mediz really impressed Printers. Printers kept telling Coach, hey, I got a wide receiver for you. Coach didn't bite. Finally, he got a tape of Mediz with only like 4 receptions on it, gave it to Coach Patterson. Still, he didn't bite. Finally, Mediz worked out against the TCU cornerback, burned them, ripped them so bad that the corners went into Patterson's office and said, Coach, you got to find a scholarship and sign this guy. Finally, Patterson relented, signed him. Good thing he did. He now is their leading receiver and comes into today's game, Mark, with 4 straight 100-plus yard receiving games.
Of course, he'll be matched up a great deal of the day with quarterback Sammy Davis for Texas A&M. As we look at Gary Patterson. Of course, he took over the bowl game last year, and this is his first full season as TCU head coach. And there's R.C. Slocum, 13th season here at Texas A&M, the tremendous record. The only downfall, that 2-8 record in bowl games. TCU won the toss. They have deferred. A&M will receive. Terrence Thomas take the ball and is tackled around the 25-yard line. Well, as A&M takes over, 26-year-old Mark Ferris, a junior, 6 years with the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Jamal Taylor at 1 wide receiver position and a couple of true freshmen. Thomas Carragher, the converted defensive tight end, and Terrence Murphy leads the team with 518 receiving yards.
The key player right there in that lineup is Derek Farmer, the true freshman running back that we talked about. Gained over 500 yards rushing this year, averaging almost 5 yards per carry. Look for him to run the football on this first play.
Derek Farmer, the lone setback, is tackled at the line of scrimmage. -1 yard on the carry. As we take a look at the rest of the offensive and defensive lines, A&M fields 4 first-time starters, including freshman sensation Jamie Hightower at left tackle.
And Seth McKinney, the second-team All-American center, academic All-American. He only needs 5 hours to graduate, Mark. Very intelligent football player.
Up front for those Horned Frogs, Chad McCarty, a 5th-year senior at left defensive end, anchors a line that is accounted for 24 tackles for loss. That first play, -1 for the Aggies. Shotgun formation. Plenty of time. Over the middle to Joe Weber, the fullback, out of the backfield. Gain of about 8 yards. Take a look at the linebackers and defensive backs. The rest of the TCU defense, and linebacker senior Chad Bear will line up next to LaMarcus McDonald, who leads the team in sacks. Coach.
We've already seen him make a tackle on the first play of the game. He has 24.5 tackles for losses so far this season.
You only see the 2 linebackers. That's because they play 5 defensive backs. And, of course, that is led by redshirt freshman Marvin Galdbolt.
You're going to see him blitzing an awful lot. Number 23. He'll come a lot from that strong safety position.
Keith Joseph now in it, running back out of the eye, and he is tackled for a loss. LaMarcus McDonald on the play.
Mark, they're going to have to find a way to block that linebacker. That happened in the Louisville game. He came free play after play after play. You better get a hand on number 44 if you're going to move the football against this defensive football team.
So that brings in Cody Skakes, the punter for A&M. He's averaged about 40 yards a punt this year. Jason Goss is deep for TCU.
Nice punt. Good hang time.
Goss takes it at about the 22-yard line. Is hit, breaks a couple of tackles. Brought down around the 26. Wes Bodovich makes the play. Let's take a look at the TCU lineup. Casey Printers will lead the Horned Frogs. A double threat to throw and run the option. He must play well for TCU to win. The skill positions, Ricky Madison, the featured back, LaTerrence Dunbar, and Adrian Mediz have combined for over 1,300 yards and 8 touchdowns. But the wild card here, Coach, could be the tight end.
The big tight end, originally signed with Texas A&M out of high school, transferred to TCU. He's played quarterback. He's played wide receiver. He could be the key player on the TCU football team.
And we have an injury on the field right now. Jonte Buell, defensive back, is down and being attended to by the Texas A&M medical staff. Good time now for us to take a break. No score here at the Astrodome. TCU and Texas A&M. Back after this. Welcome back to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. TCU and Texas A&M scoreless. That's Jonte Buell, Texas A&M defensive back who was hurt on the punt return. We'll see that right here. You can see non-contact, it looks like. It's his left knee that they're working on the sideline right now.
Mark, that can happen sometimes on AstroTurf. We were on the field before the ball game. Even though this is the new turf, these players have not played many games on AstroTurf, and it's going to take them a while to make the adjustment.
So we hear more on Jonte Buell's injury. We'll pass it along.
A nice punt by Cody Skates to the first time out. He had a punt blocked against Texas, so he got a 45-yard punt to open the ball game.
So KC Printers takes over out of the I formation. Reggie Holtz and Ricky Madison with the tailback. They come out throwing right away to Adrian Medice. As we take a line now, a look at the offensive line for TCU. Gludd, Barrick at the tackles, Augenbaugh at right guard, and Powell at center.
Watch that left guard, Victor Payne, number 78. He's the only senior on this offensive football team. He's a first-team Conference USA all-conference team. Squats 800 pounds.
They're going to have their hands full with that Aggies front three. Baroni, Warren, and in left defensive end, Rocky Bernard. As we look at the slot right formation, 8 yards on the first down play, 2nd and 2. Reggie Holtz gets the carry. Makes his way out to about the 40-yard line. First down, TCU. As we take a look at the rest, that Aggies defense, Robertson and Gamble inside. Rodriguez and Penright have combined for 16 sacks. They're a terror on the outside. In the secondary, freshman Byron Jones will start at left corner for Sean Weston. He's a scratch with a hyperextended knee, but the best player, clearly, Sammy Davis. Coach.
Sammy Davis, the best cover man I've seen in a long time. He has 5 interceptions so far this year. He's all Big 12 conference, I think, for the 2nd year in a row. Most valuable player on the A&M defensive football team, Sammy Davis.
So Madison and Holtz, the backs. Madison in motion. Printers goes outside to B.J. Roberts. Incomplete.
Some good inside pressure. That A&M defense, particularly inside, very strong. They look like Ty Warren putting the pressure there on the quarterback, Printers.
Along with Terrence Keel, TCU defense, an 8-man front. They call it a 4-2-5, but really an 8-man front. And they will put some pressure on you. And, of course, TCU now has the ball with seconds ticking down. Slot right, I formation. Madison up the middle.
Mark, it looked like TCU checked that play at the line of scrimmage.
Let's go down to Rob Stone and check in with an injury update.
Well, they're working on Jonte Buell right now. They spent a lot of time manually testing his left knee ligaments, and we mentioned earlier they're already very thin in that defensive secondary position. They're going to be thinner. Buell, left knee strain, will not return.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. He's the backup to Sammy Davis, the 2-time All-Big 12 Conference first-team player. As it's now 3rd and 7 for TCU. Shotgun formation, slot right. Finds his man, Matt Schobel, the pass-catching tight end. Good for 17 yards and a first down.
Mark, they split Schobel out that time as a wide receiver. I mentioned earlier he came here as a quarterback, played wide receiver, now he's a tight end, but he's good enough athlete. They flexed him out. You can see him go down the middle. Right here he is. You can see him go down the middle, run a little inside route, and a great throw. And, of course, he caught the football in his hands being an ex-wide receiver.
Did a great job. Harold Robertson on the stop. Printers with a lot of time right now as we take a look at Matt Schobel, psychology major.
Schobel 6'5", 257-pounder.
Timeout's been called.
Timeout. First timeout of the half. TCU.
So TCU is on the move. Gary Patterson will regroup. 0-0 here at the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl.
Dead ball foul. False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still first.
So after calling a timeout because they only had 10 men on the field, TCU now gets a 5-yard penalty for motion. That will not make Gary Patterson a happy camper.
You can't blame the crowd noise on that one either. The ball here is in the middle of the field, so that's not a factor.
So it's 1st and 15 from the 45-yard line. Madison, the lone setback. 3 wide receivers.
That show will split out here again, Mark, here at the bottom of your screen.
Printers on the option. Nowhere to go. Gerard Penwright with the play. Pushes him out of bounds for about a loss of 2 yards.
This is the way you play the option. You have a man assigned to the quarterback. I mentioned earlier I would jump him right now and make him pitch a football, but that's a great play. They string it out into the boundary, and you can see that Aggie pursuit down the line of scrimmage right there. Penwright, the outside linebacker, number 43, 6'2", 240-pound junior out of Aldine, Texas, made a great play.
Leads the team with 10.5 sacks. He's a big play man. So 2nd down now and 17. Slot right, play action. Printers under pressure. He's brought down by Ty Warren, nose guard. Put pressure right up the middle. That's good for a loss of 8 yards.
Mark, they brought more people than TCU could block. You've got to protect your quarterback on the backside. When he runs a play action pass, the tight end on the left has got to stay in. Warren came unblocked. Ty Warren, number 94, came unblocked from the top of your picture. TCU's lucky they didn't get a fumble.
That's the first real pressure we've seen TCU put on TCU by Texas A&M. So we've got 3rd down and a mile, 25 yards. They'll elect to hand it off to Ricky Madison. Gets it back just past midfield, gain of about 7 yards. Jay Brooks on the stop.
Mike Sholey, the offensive coordinator for TCU, choosing to play field position. I think a good call there on 3rd down. You had 3rd and a mile. Not many offenses has a play set up for that long yardage situation, Mark.
It all started with 10 men on the field. They had to go ahead and call a timeout. We see Mike Schultz there, the offensive coordinator, put him in a bind. Then they get the motion penalty and went backwards for there. So they'll punt the ball away. Joey Bassotti gets it off. Mickey Jones receive about the 5-yard line. Takes it out to the left. Good tackle. Good tackle made there. It's a 43-yard punt, 8-yard return by LaMarcus McDonald, and we've got a flag on the play. Tonight on ESPN, Boston College meets Georgia in the Music City Bowl, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 p.m. in Nashville. As Capital One Bowl Week continues, for more college football information, log on to ESPN.com. And, of course, that game will feature William Green, 1,559 yards this season, 2nd in the NCAA.
Mark, Mickey Jones, in my opinion, made a mistake there. You should let the ball go inside the 10-yard line. Let the ball bounce in the end zone. He got the ball on the 20, but he tried to run the ball out. Made a pretty good move, but usually you want to let that ball go. A good tackle again by number 44, McDonald, Marcus McDonald. We'll be calling his name a lot this afternoon.
We had a personal foul on the receiving team, so that return will be negated. And Texas A&M is going to take over at about the 11-yard line. Or excuse me, the 7-yard line. 3 wide receivers. Motion, fake the reverse. And that's Derek Farmer, who gets tripped up right up the middle, gain of 4, but that was close to being a big one. Kenneth Hilliard on the stop.
Good safe call coming off your own goal line. You don't want to take a lot of chances. Don't want to turn the ball over, and that's that freshman running back we mentioned earlier, 5'11", 190-pound true freshman out of Tyler Lee High School.
Just the 7th man, as we said in the open, in Texas A&M history as a freshman to go over the 500-yard rushing mark in a single season. 2nd and 5, A&M.
Look for A&M again to be conservative, run the ball between the tackles here when you're backed up.
High formation, Farmer behind Joe Weber. Harris hands it off over the right side. Bang it up over the 15-yard line. And it's going to be close to a 1st down. Charlie Owens on the stop.
We got a good collision there between that fullback, Joe Weber, number 28, and the linebacker, McDonald.
Well, This is what Texas A&M said they wanted to do. They wanted to come out knowing that TCU would have 8-9 in the box and get after them and see if they could still run with that extra defender in the box.
They feel a lot more comfortable, Mark. We keep talking about Derek Farmer, the running back. He missed the Texas game, the last game of the regular season, and they feel a lot more comfortable having him in the backfield.
Take a look at the measurement. That's good enough for a first down, and that is the first down for the Texas A&M Aggies here early in the first quarter.
You're going to see a lot of Gary Patterson, the head football coach, on the sideline. Gary runs the defense. Make no mistake about it. Last year, he was a defensive coordinator before he became the head coach, and they had the #1 defensive team in the country.
Right now, they're ranked 10th in the country against the rush, only giving up about 93 yards.
Very sound defensive football team.
Gets them ready up to the line. 3 wide receiver set into the boundary left. Motion. After a fake reverse, we get the reverse. Tackle made by LaMarcus McDonald on Dwayne Goins.
I don't know how he does it, but play after play after play, you're going to see McDonald penetrate and get in the backfield. He just has a knack for making big plays. Here you can see him coming unblocked up the middle. Makes a good open field tackle on a skilled athlete. Here we fake the running play inside, give to the wide receiver coming around, and McDonald made the tackle.
That is McDonald's 4th tackle of the day already for -5 yards. 2nd and 15. Little draw play. Farmer bounces it outside, and here comes help. Charlie Owens, the first one to get there. McDonald cleans it up.
Charlie Owens is going to play in the East-West game, number 17. I can see why they chose him. He's a he's a 3-year starter, a very good football player. Number 17, a strong safety.
That's good for no gain. Unusual to see a head coach involved so much with the defense, but Gary Patterson calls all the defensive plays and very demonstrative on the sideline. 3rd down conversions, 30% on the year for Texas A&M. Trips right, shotgun formation. Ferris goes down. John Turntine on the sack. The defensive tackle, the quickest of the 2.
I would credit that sack to the secondary. I think that's what we call a coverage sack. Very good coverage in the secondary. They play the nickel package as a base defense. You're going to see the replay, and watch the bottom of your screen here. The second man in here from your right. John Turntine gets up the field and is going to make the play. Here he comes. Got rid of the offensive tackle and came inside and made the play on the quarterback.
Cody Skates will punt from his end zone. His last punt, 45 yards. Jason Goss back to receive. Out the 48. Gets a couple people miss. Get back outside. Harold Robertson on the stop. 41 yards, a yard on the return. And very little here gets between this rivalry that dates back to 1897. A&M versus TCU in 1956. It rained, then it hailed, then came the tornado, and at one point winds were clocked at 90 miles per hour. No one could hear signals because of the hail bouncing off their helmets, said one player. It is forever known simply as the Hurricane game. A&M won that one 7-6. And nice illustration there, Coach.
The way these defenses are playing, starting off this ball game, we may see the same kind of score here, Mark.
Here we go. Printers finds it in traffic to number 13, Adrian Medice. 10 yards on the play.
We've got a penalty. I didn't see the movement. It might be movement on the offensive line, but we'll have to wait and see. Nope. Looks like it's against the Aggies.
Today's referee, James Fogeltans, from the Pac-10 officiating crew. Try to sort this out.
Mark, this is a good crew. I've had a chance to watch this crew work work some of the Pac-10 games. This is a good officiating crew.
So there has been a call here for a measurement. And there was a flag trying to determine whether to accept or decline it. They're going to come up about a foot short.
Now they'll decline that penalty. It was on A&M. I think A&M was offside, so obviously they gained 10 yards on the play. They will decline the penalty.
That's going to make it second and about a foot then.
Good time here, Mark. The ex-quarterback. Good time to go for the bomb here, isn't it? Got a waist down, so to speak. I wouldn't be surprised to see them put the ball up here. Go deep. Try to get a big play.
Well, the big play receiver in this offense is Adrian Medice. 2nd and 1. 4:50 left here in the first quarter. We got a slot right formation. Actually, it's trips right. Single back, Ricky Madison. Shobo in motion. Madison with a handoff. Bounces outside, picks up the first down. Terrence Keel with a tackle. TCU and Texas A&M here at the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl, along with Mark Malone, Coach John Cooper, and Rob Stone down on the sideline.
TCU there, Mark, used a 2 tight end offense. They used B.J. Roberts as a tight end on the left side, brought him in motion, and then used him as you would a fullback. He was a lead blocker on that play.
You can see the history, a very long and rich history between these two schools, I should say. 1st and 10 now as the play clock ticks down. Full house backfield. But Terrence Dunbar, the wide receiver, takes the handoff in the backfield.
First time I've seen that set, Mark. They use him as what we call a power back, the power I formation. First time I've seen that. Just a quarterback reverse pivot. Gave the ball to Dunbar and gave him a chance to run the football outside on the right side, outside the right tackle.
So no gain. Amon Simon on the play. Makes it 2nd and 10 now. The TCU, the 2nd drive in a row that they've moved the ball. They got themselves in trouble with a sack and some penalties on their initial drive. Printers, play action pass, plenty of time, looking deep, and it is intercepted. A&M takes it all the way back past midfield. Byron Jones, the true freshman, comes up with a big play, a 60-yard return on the interception. Jones filling in for Sean Weston, who was the original starter, a scratch with a hyperextended knee, and the true freshman comes up big.
Mark, you're going to see, as we replay this, you're going to see that TCU kept the tight end in on the backside, had plenty of protection, but this is a great play by the backside corner. He got his depth, number 11, a true freshman. That's what we call the old tip drill. Us defensive secondary coaches, ball batted up in the air, and Byron Jones made the biggest play of his college career so far. He's a true freshman out of Bay City, Texas.
But D certainly didn't get up tight enough on Davis to affect him, and the ball was hung in the air. Great job there by Davis to tip the ball, and of course the true freshman with a 60-yard return. So it's A&M's ball now, 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Ferris, play action, he's going to go deep, and he's got a man open. But a flag is on the play. Jamar Taylor, the transfer from Notre Dame, the intended receiver.
I didn't see contact on that play, Mark. As we see a replay, we may see some contact while the ball's in the air.
Well, Gary Patterson not happy right here. Double move was made, and there was contact on the play downfield.
I'm not sure that was a catchable pass. You can make contact as long as the ball's not in the air.
Automatic first down.
So an automatic first down. You see the penalties. TCU averaging just a little over 10 penalties a game. It's been a point of consternation for Gary Patterson and his football team. Penalties minus 21 yards today on TCU. 1st and 10. The pitch to Derek Farmer down the right side.
Mark, it's going to be hard to run the football against that TCU defense. They're blitzing almost every play, bringing those linebackers and corners up on the line.
Charlie Owens, Chad Bear combined on the stop for the Horned Frogs. Gain of 2 yards on the play, bring up 2nd and 8. Take a look at this defense for TCU. 24th overall, 10th against the run, forced 15 fumbles. That's 11th in the country. They get after you. A lot of people at the line of scrimmage try to confuse you very quick. The safeties are involved with the 2 linebackers up around the line of scrimmage. 3 wide receivers. Harris, the Farmer, up the middle, breaks 1 tackle. Good for about 8 yards on the carry.
I can see why they like that freshman running back, number 1, Derek Farmer, out of Tyler Lee High School. He's got a lot of good moves. Gained over 500 yards rushing. As we watch a replay, watch Farmer. Ball was designed to go inside. He bounces it outside, makes a couple guys miss him at the line of scrimmage. Picked up some valuable yardage here close to the goal line. 3rd and short.
Offensive coordinator Dino Baber said, listen, they've got more people in the box than we can block. Farmer has to make somebody miss, and he did there. Full house backfield. 3rd and 1 motion. Ball handed off to Joe Weber. And he'll pick up the 1st down. Texas A&M inside the 10-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play.
You're talking about coming off the football. Watch Seth McKinney, number 77, the center, the 2nd-team All-American center, a finalist for the Remington Award, in the right guard, number 51, Taylor Whitney, 6'4", 305-pound junior, did a nice job coming off the ball.
A&M bigger, stronger, more physical than TCU.
You're going to see him run right at him, either that or play action pass here on the goal line.
1st and goal. On the 4-yard line. Again, he'll pick up a couple.
It's the old-fashioned off-tackle play, Mark. You double down and kick out, tight end and strong side tackle. Double the defensive tackle, fullback kicks out. As we see it, we see a replay. Watch the tight end at the top of your screen. Block down. Number 34 is kicking out on the corner. Good run by Joe Weber.
This is exactly what A&M wanted to do. They're having success now. 2nd and goal on the 3-yard line. Single receiver, out left, high formation. They're going to take a shot. Ferris deep. Bo Springfield breaks it up. Terrence Murphy, the true freshman, was the intended target.
I think Ferris checked that play at the line of scrimmage. He probably been better off leaving the running play on, but he checked to the fade route here, and that's a good job of Bo Springfield, number 30. Bo's only 5'9", but he got up at the highest point. Kept the wide receiver from catching the football. Kept Murphy from catching the football, number 5.
Ferris, generally a more accurate passer, hung that ball up. Not a good throw at all. 1st and goal on the 3. Excuse me, 3rd and goal on the 3. And finally, TCU comes up big with a stop, but we have a flag on the play.
A&M trying to run the option themselves with the quarterback keeping the football. They made Ferris keep the ball. TCU offside, Mark.
Well, that's why that play works down there defensively. Patterson again trying to talk up his defense as Ferris tries to get the Aggies.
On the defense. Repeat 3rd down. Half the distance to the goal.
TCU cannot afford to make these kind of mistakes. They make a good play defensively, stop the quarterback on the option play, but Mark, they line up in the neutral zone. You just cannot beat yourself mentally.
That is why they lead the nation in penalties. It's the 3rd TCU penalty of the game. We're not even out of the 1st quarter as we tick down. 15 seconds left. Full house backfield. 3rd and goal. Comes the power play with Weber on the right side, and TCU comes up big. Richard Evans on the play as we close out the 1st quarter play here at the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. Gary Patterson's TCU Horned Frogs come up big. They'll force the field goal out of Texas A&M. We'll see that when we continue right after this. Welcome back to Houston, Texas, the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. TCU and Texas A&M as we take a look at TCU goal line stand down here.
We can see why McDonald makes so many tackles in the backfield. He's got a great knack of getting off on the count. Watch this next play, number 44 here. on the left side. Watch him get a jump on the ball right here. Coming in, timed it up, and he's moving just as the center snaps the football.
Well, the Aggies on 4th and goal have elected to go for it. Mark Ferris gets TCU to jump off with a hard count.
That time they tried to anticipate the count, and they jumped offside. That penalty's not going to hurt them that much. It's half distance to the goal.
Contact, offsides on the defense. Half the distance to the goal.
Turn sign. The quicker of the two defensive tackles, the man who jumped and called for the offside, half the distance to the goal line. So we've got 4th and goal just inside the 1-yard line now. And again, the Aggies going to go for it here.
And Mark, when you say the quick, he is quick. John Turntine, number 49. He's 6'1", 267-pound junior. About as quick as any defensive lineman I've seen.
We talked about how McDonald was timing it up. Ferris now changing up his count, drawing the offsides. They hand it off. Keith Joseph, the ball carrier, and TCU comes up big. Richard Evans, Kenneth Hilliard combine on the stop. What a moral victory for the Horned Frogs here. Gary Patterson excited about it.
That's a case where you have to be your own blocker. You cannot block all those guys on the line of scrimmage. That fullback or running back has got to run over somebody, put the ball in the end zone. He's got to score on that play. But credit TCU's defense. That's a great goal line stand.
There's our boy. Yep, Marcus McDonald in on the stop as well. Keith Joseph had 4 touchdowns on the season, but TCU was not letting him in the end zone that time.
The key there was those defensive linebackers kept their feet going and drove the ball carrier back. They did not let him fall forward on the goal line.
So they waste a long interception return. TCU takes over on their own goal line, and we have an interception. Byron Jones, the true freshman, with his 2nd interception of the game. What a play.
You're going to see a true freshman make his second great play at this ballgame here, number 11. He's playing because Sean Weston is out of this game, but watch him plant his feet and break on the football here. Caught the ball at its highest point and became a ball carrier after he caught the football.
Well, there is little doubt that KC Printers was going after the true freshman, Byron Jones, but right now 2 interceptions, one a 60-yard return. This one they put down inside the 1-yard line. So it's 1st and goal for A&M. And this TCU defense has got to be tired. Full house backfield. Ferris takes it himself. Waiting for a call.
Yeah, it's a touchdown.
A&M says it's a touchdown. The officials say it's a touchdown.
Mark, that's 2 smart football players right there. Mark Ferris, of course, the quarterback, running behind Seth McKinney. We talked about McKinney, what a great player he was. Well, he is. He was runner-up for the Remington Award that LaCharles Bentley, the center at Ohio State, wanted. But Seth McKinney was number 2 in the voting for the best center in college football.
Cody skates on for the extra point try. Almost blocked, but it is good. And A&M cashes in on another interception from true freshman. And they lead it 7-0 over TCU. Welcome back to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl, along with Coach John Cooper. I'm Mark Malone. Rob Stone on the sideline. Texas A&M goes up 7-0 over TCU thanks to that man, Byron Jones, a true freshman who was playing and starting today because Sean Weston was a scratch with a hyperextended knee.
Mark, this is a good Aggie defensive football team. Mike Hankwich has been with RC for a long time, the defensive coordinator. They've only allowed 3 runs over 20 yards this season, and they've only had 4 pass plays over 40 yards. So this is a very good, very sound defensive football team.
TCU just tired after a great goal line stand to keep the Aggies out of the end zone. Printers, the quarterback for TCU, throws an interception on the first play.
Well, those are the chances you take coming off your goal line. If you're going to, most people would line up and try to run the football. But TCU chose to come with a play action pass and threw the ball. You know, sometimes you take some chances and it'll backfire on them.
So Cody Skates will tee it up for the Aggies. With Terrence Dunbar and Bo Springfield, 2 return men for TCU. Off. Dunbar, number 3 with the turn, breaks a tackle, spins out of another one. Finally down at about 35-yard line. As we take a look and get you caught up with the action in the early part of the game, the score has been set up by a couple of interceptions by the true freshman, Byron Jones. First, the ball tipped by Sammy Davis. Jones picks it off and returns it 60 yards down the right sideline. And then, after a goal line stand, he picks off his second one and gets it down to the 1-yard line. That set up a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Mark Ferris. Only took 2 seconds on that drive, and A&M leads 7-0. So Printers with a slot left. He's had his last 2 passes intercepted. Ends it off on a quick dive to the fullback, Reggie Holtz.
It's going to be tough to run the football inside, Mark, against that A&M odd look. You got the nose guard. A lot of people in college football now are playing the 4-3, but the Aggies play what we call the 50 defense, or the odd defense. Ty Warren is going to be playing on the center's nose. He's 6'4", 295-pounder. He, along with Evan Peroni and Rocky Bernard, are real anchor points in the defensive front.
You can see they rank 10th nationally, only allowing 294 yards, 19 points a game. 2nd and 8. Printers back to pass. Goes outside to Dunbar, just off his fingertips.
Chris Rodriguez put good pressure on Casey Printers that time. Good pressure from the outside linebacker.
Sammy Davis on coverage. And really, this kid has really, Printers, turned this football team around the last 4 games, averaging about 290 yards per game. He threw 50 times in the East Carolina University game in the second half.
For over 300 yards. Pretty good hash.
So he is certainly capable as we have a 3rd and 8 situation. High formation, speed option to the left. Take away the pitch. Printers turns it up for a gain of about 3 yards. Lennis Smith on the stop.
They made a quarterback keep the play. That was a counter option that's been so effective for TCU's offense. But a good job by the Aggie defense.
That'll force a TCU punt. Joey Bassotti.
Better look out for Jay Brooks here, number 21. He's very good at blocking kicks. He's blocked 5 kicks so far this year. Jay Brooks and number 21 and number 48, Terrace Keel, are the 2 players that will be coming after the punter.
Mickey Jones back to receive. This is a good punt. Drives him back inside the 10. He elects to field it. Bad decision. Dunbar with a tackle inside the 5-yard line. So A&M will take over inside their own 5, leading 7-0.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 GalleryFurniture.com Bowl is brought to you by Capital One, proud sponsor of the Capital One Florida Citrus Bowl on January 1st. And by Circuit City. We know how you feel. That's why we're here. Circuit City. We're with you.
Texas A&M, TCU, the Aggies with the football. They don't get the luxury of good field position this time off of an interception, although they'd lead 7-0. The Aggies will go 1st and 10, about the 6-yard line. Just under 13 minutes left to play here in the first half. It seems to me that the tempo has been that A&M has been able to run the ball, Coach. I think we're going to see more of that here in the first half.
I think we'll see them trying to run the ball inside the tackles here. We're going to see a play action pass on the first play, going deep, going for the home run.
Great drop back. Terrence Murphy, the freshman, is the intended target. Goss on the play. The reason the Aggies are starting inside their own 10-yard line, well, it has to do with a bad punt decision.
That's the second mistake I think Mickey Jones has made in the punting game. Handle the ball inside the 10-yard line. LaTorrance Dunbar, number 3, a wide receiver, got down and made a form tackle.
Jones will think better second time around. The rule is always generally if it's inside the 10-yard line, you let it go.
You don't touch it inside the 10-yard line.
We're going to take another timeout here. Texas A&M leading over TCU 7-0.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 GalleryFurniture.com Bowl is presented by GalleryFurniture.com, the finest, fastest, most affordable store in the world. And in part by Singular, the wireless company that supports self-expression nationwide.
That's Casey Printers, the TCU quarterback, who has not had a good day so far. 2 interceptions, set up the only touchdown by the A&M Aggies. 3 of 7, 35 yards, and 2 interceptions to be exact. Been sacked 1 time also. A&M has the ball at the 6-yard line. Spread formation. Seth McKinney didn't like that little offsides jump. Gives a TCU player a pop. And again, Ferris now going to the hard counts. TCU tries to time things up and starting to get the Horned Frogs to jump offside.
Mark, that's a very good observation. Being an ex-quarterback, you got to keep that. You got to keep the defensive line honest. If they're hard enough to block,
Contact,
you cannot let them anticipate the count.
5 yards.
Good job of Mark Ferris, the quarterback.
Brandon Johnson, the man called. It's 3 offside penalties now on the TCU defense, who, by the way, as we've said earlier, leads the nation in penalties. So, 2nd down and 5. 3 wide receivers. Offset eye. Ferris. The split draw to Derek Farmer. Looks like he's up around a 1st down marker.
Normally, when you see these split backs like this in the backfield, you're going to see a draw play. That's a good call coming off the goal line. Quarterback comes back like he's going to throw the football, gave the ball to Farmer, and Farmer, as we mentioned earlier, is what we call a cut and slash type runner, a north-south type football player. Great high school football played here in the state of Texas, so that's a 1st down.
Turn time, McDonald, the 2 Horned Frogs in on the play. Bring Farmer down. That's good for a 1st down. So A&M gets a little breathing room now. Out over the 15-yard line to the 16. High formation. Ferris looking. Can't hold the ball that long. Joe Hill with a sack. The 2nd TCU sack on the day. And again, Ferris just holding the ball, staring down the receiver, -6 on the play.
That's a good point. That was good protection. Joe Hill would not be denied, though. Number 25, he's a backup outside linebacker, 6'3", 238-pound senior. They really put pressure on the quarterback. Good coverage in the secondary, though, by the left cornerback. That's 2 times we've seen A&M try to go for the bomb coming off the goal line.
4 wide receivers now as Ferris moves to the shotgun. With a shovel pass to Farmer inside. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of about 9 yards. Maybe a pickup of 1. Turn time on the stop.
Mark, that's a good call by Dino Babers, the offensive coordinator. Just a draw play. The quarterback goes back like he's going to throw the football, pitches the ball forward to Farmer. You got the ball in a good running back's hands here in the open field. Good call. Good conservative call. If that ball is fumbled, it's an incomplete. That's Dino Babers we saw there. First year offensive coordinator last year was at the University of Arizona for Coach Dick Tolman.
3rd down. And about 7 yards. Play clock ticking down. A&M could be one of 2 penalties here. Either delay of game or illegal motion. Jamie Hightower was moving the left tackle.
One of those freshman mistakes, Mark. A&M has 4 true freshmen starting on this offensive football team, including the left tackle, Jamie Hightower. Here we are on the left side. You can see him move. He steps back in his stance there before the ball snapped. Again, I think John Turntine calls that penalty. He is so quick. Those offensive linemen are trying to anticipate the count themselves.
Second penalty for A&M. Hightower, a guy playing as a true freshman. They say he will be a big-time NFL player if he stays healthy through his career. 4 wide receivers now for Texas A&M. Trips right. Shotgun formation. Bears needs about 11 yards. Plenty of time. Oh, almost picked off. Intended for Terrence Murphy.
That ball should have been picked off. A defensive corner there did a great job breaking on the football. Jason Goss did a great job breaking on the football, but he's got to make that play, put the ball in the end zone. Mark, I don't like this stat. Jason Goss has defended 24 passes. He's knocked down 24 passes. You get what you coach. Go for the interception. The defensive backs ought to make the play. Intercept the football. Don't knock it down.
There's a reason he's a defensive back and not a wide receiver, as A&M might have been partially tipped. Ball bounces up towards midfield. Goss was back to receive. But TCU may, in fact, have got a tip on the ball. The punt about 38 yards. That TCU defense we've been talking so much about, led by, in part, that man, Christian Rodriguez, a first-year starter here, but a guy who is working on his master's. He'll have that in May. Interesting story. His father abandoned him and his mother when he was about 6 years old, and then, or 6 months old, when he was about 12. His mother was put in prison for selling drugs, yet he finished in the top 5% of his high school, was 3-time class president. And I'll tell you what, an inspirational story. We had a chance to talk to him last night, Coach, and a guy you really want to root for.
What an impressive young man, and give credit to his high school football coach, Coach Mark Elam. He's also his guardian. He lives with him right now. Took him under his wing, and he said he would probably be in jail someplace if it hadn't been for his high school football coach.
Flag on the play.
And Mark, we can't say enough about the great high school football that's played in the state of Texas. Most of these players, as we know, came from high school football right here in the state. Matter of fact, the TCU only has 6 players from out of state on their entire football team. Texas A&M has 35 players from the Houston area, so this is almost a homecoming for half of their football team.
Well, 6th penalty on the day for TCU makes it 1st and 15. Schobel in motion, slot right. There's the pitch on the option. It's bad. But Terrence Dunbar does a great job of making the recover. Christian Rodriguez in on the play. That's a loss of 20 yards for TCU. And Coach, is back to what you were talking about. You got to take Printers away and hit him in the mouth when he runs the option.
That's exactly what R.C. Slocum said they were going to do. They're going to try to make him handle the football. You can see here they slow play, what we call slow play. They hit the quarterback, make him pitch the ball. Rodriguez, as we talked about earlier, made a great play. TCU was very fortunate to get back on that ball.
Nothing going well now. 2nd and 34 now for the Horned Frogs. Little drop play. Ricky Madison takes it out to the right side. Let's go down to Rob Stone with more on Christian Rodriguez.
Well, Mark, we're with Mark Elam, who took in Christian when he was entering his junior year in high school, and since then you've been his legal guardian. And when you brought Christian in, it wasn't my way or the highway. You told him it's my way or my way. How did he respond to that?
Oh, real well. You know, Christian had been bounced around a little bit and just needed a place to call home, and we want to give him that. I want to be sure he knew it was a commitment from us and him, too. So he took it like that and never gave a bit of trouble to us, and we're proud of him.
He might as well be your son right now, right?
Well, I think of him that way. I'm just proud to see him the last 5 or 6 years and see what he's done. I'm real proud of what he's accomplished.
Hey, guys, we were watching that last play on the Jumbotron. Rodriguez, big pop. Coach is cheering for him hard.
As well he should, Rob. Thank you very much. On 3rd and 27, Printers again having trouble. Marcus Jasmine in on the play. And that'll bring up a 4th down for the Horned Frogs.
One other thing we might add about Rodriguez is he's already graduated. Going to get his master's degree.
even though he's of age, when he gets some time off from school, he goes back and spends it at home with Mark Elam. He calls that home now. The Saudis had 2 punts. His last one 52 yards. This one end over end, takes a good bounce. Mickey Jones picks it up. It's a couple of yards before he's brought down around the 30-yard line. So TCU will try to regroup. The Aggies take over. It's 7-0 Texas A&M. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl from Houston, Texas, the Astrodome. Mark Malone along with Coach John Cooper and Rob Stone on the sideline. The Aggies lead 7-0. Just under 8 minutes to play here in the second quarter. Right now, it's been all Aggies defense. R.C. Slocum's offensive football team hits the field. They take over at the 31-yard line.
A little surprised, Mark. I thought we would see A&M try to run the football a little more than they have. Farmer's carried the ball 8 times for 33 yards here so far in the game.
Even numbers offensively for both teams. Farmer carries it off the left side, pounds away for about 3 yards. Richard Evans on the play. This continues, this trend continues, Coach, of A&M banging away at this TCU defense because it's small, it's built on speed. They're going to wear the Horned Frogs down.
Well, that would be a good game plan, I think, just to run right at them because A&M's got a big offensive line, a big physical offensive line. And, of course, with Farmer back, I think they want to try to establish a run game a little more.
Harris under pressure. Finds Thomas Carragher. It's the first catch of his career. He's a former defensive end, a freshman that was converted over to tight end because the team had lost all 4 scholarship tight ends to injury this year. That's the first catch in, 6 starts for this young man.
Mark, how come they don't throw to the tight end? I mean, the guy looked like a good athlete on that play. You're talking about getting your football team fired up, the offensive team, and even the players on the sideline were real excited as we see a replay. He was wide open. TCU completely ignored him because he hadn't caught a pass so far this year.
38 yards on the pickup, and you can look at here. Madison, De La Torre, Spiller, Perot, all 4 scholarship tight ends out with injury, and it's been a real problem for the Texas A&M Aggies. But Carragher comes up big on that play. We're back after this.
A&M history this year. Thomas Carragher, tight end for the Aggies, his first reception as a Division I football player. And we're here with one of, well, his tight end coaches, if you will, Michael De La Torre, one of the 4 Aggie scholarship tight ends who are no longer playing this year. Herniated disc, you had to retire. I saw you coaching Mr. Carragher that first series in this game. What were you telling him?
Well, he did his right assignment technically. He thought this guy was going to do something which he didn't do, and he let somebody run through on the backside and make a tackle. And I just told him he needs to follow through his assignment and not assume that somebody's going to do something.
Hey, did you ever think he'd make a reception?
Well, I hope so. You know, I knew he was going to be open. I mean, he'd been open the last couple games. And I told him, you know, if Mark wants to throw it to you, he'll throw it to you. And nobody was guarding him, so.
Hey, real quick, tell us quickly what you said when you found out he was the starting tight end for A&M.
Hey, you know.
Yeah, enough said.
Like that.
Thanks, man.
All right, Rob, thank you very much. 3 yards on that carry by Farmer. And R.C. Slocum told us he may throw the ball to Carragher, but he was just afraid he might pop it when he got it into his hands, Coach. 2nd and 7, I formation, slot right. Play action. Ferris looking deep to Murphy again. Into double coverage and overthrown.
Again, Mark, that ball should have been intercepted. A cornerback there should get up and make that play.
Charlie Owens, Jason Goss, both on the play.
Got double coverage. A&M came with 3 wideouts on that play. They took the tight end out and put Greg Porter, number 44. He's 6'5", 230-pounder. Coach Babers told us they would play him some at the tight end position, but when he was in the ball game, they were going to throw the football. They were not going to run the ball with him at that position.
Well, they call him Slovacek, like Jay Novacek. Got great hands, but not a very fast player. 3 wide receivers. And then 1 for 5 in third down conversions. This little dump screen to Farmer, who slips the tackle and is taken down near the first-yard marker. He might have it. Bobby Pollard on the tackle. Good for 8 yards, and it is a first down. And A&M again knocking on the door.
A&M doing a lot of substituting offensively. Got the tight end back in the ball game here.
One back set, Derek Farmer, the true freshman. Slot right. Here comes TCU again, trying to time the blitz, but they're caught for an offside. Chad Bear looked to be the culprit. 4th offsides of the day.
Chad trying to get a jump on the ball. They're trying to time it up, and again, a good job by the quarterback using a hard count.
Offsides on the defense.
That's a good way to get a 5-yard gain, Mark, down in the red zone.
Well, it's a good way to slow that TCU defense down a little bit as well.
That's a good point. You got to slow them down. You cannot let the defense anticipate the count.
They're averaging TCU a little over 10 penalties per game. They've already committed 7 for 37 yards, and we're not through the first half yet. Gary Patterson cannot be happy. 1st and 5 now. Slot right, lone setback Farmer. Farmer takes it off the right tackle. And he picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards close to the first down. McDonald on the play, and that was a touchdown saving tackle.
A little misdirection play here. They bring the wing back around and faked the reverse and gave the ball to Farmer on a quick hitting play. As we can see here, time it up, give the ball to the back, and the wide receiver comes around to hold the outside linebacker.
It's the 7th tackle on the day for McDonald. You can see if he didn't get there, Farmer was in the end zone. He would have walked in.
I can see why A&M's coaches, R.C. Slocum and his coaches, like Derek Farmer, this true freshman running back out of Tyler.
Oh, that one's just a couple of inches shy.
That's about 1 3/4 inches of the change short of a first down.
Good Farmer, averaging 3.4 yards per carry. On the season, he averaged 4.6. Again, the 7th freshman in A&M history to go over the 500-yard mark rushing. And I'm sure he'll probably be the guy that carries the ball on this 2nd and inches down here inside the 10-yard line for R.C. Slocum.
Either that or go ahead and run the quarterback sneak and get the first down.
Ferris scored the Aggies' only touchdown on a sneak inside the 1-yard line. A&M spreads them out. Trips left, slot left, single back. Farmer. Same play to the left side. Farmer picks up the first down. Tyrone Sanders, again, out there on an island by himself, is able to bring Farmer down. Good for 4 yards on the carry.
Farmer lined up about 6 yards deep in the backfield, gets a good running start. That's almost what we call the old dive play. Give the ball to the back and let him hit the ball straight ahead and bounce it outside. But if the tackle comes inside, which he did on that play, then a good running back uses his eyes, uses his vision, and bounce the ball outside.
So the Aggies, 1st and goal now from the 5-yard line. They tighten up the formation, double tight, 1 wide out to the right, I formation. And a pitch to Farmer. He puts it on the ground. TCU picks it up. It's Charlie Owens down the left sideline.
Touchdown.
And he's managed to keep his feet in bounds. 10-5 touchdown. TCU, 89 yards on the return.
We're going to see the toss here. I don't believe the running back gets a play, gets the ball. You got to watch the ball in your hands. And Charlie Owens, I mentioned earlier, is going to play in the East-West game, breaks the tackle. Ferris cannot make the tackle. And Owens takes the ball down the sideline here for the touchdown.
From our vantage point, we couldn't see whether or not he stepped out, but clearly on the replay, well within the field of play, 89 yards on the return, and the Horned Frogs are back in it. Nick Brown on for the extra point, and it's good. We've got a tie ball game. TCU, Texas A&M, all knotted up at 7 apiece. Thanks to Charlie Owens and an 89-yard fumble return.
Right there. All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Houston, Texas, the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. That is Charlie Owens, the TCU weak side safety who got the Horned Frogs back in the game with the second longest fumble return in TCU history. 89 yards. That's the longest in 42 years. Farmer drops the pitch from Ferris, pops right in Owens' hands. He avoids the tackle, and he's off to the races, and we have ourselves a ball game now. TCU, Texas A&M knotted at 7. So Nick Brown will tee it up. Mickey Jones, Terrence Thomas, the 2 return men for Texas A&M. Brown gets a high kickoff down to about the 6-yard line. Thomas picks it up, got some room down the right sideline. Let's go down the field to Rob Stone.
Well, keeping with the recent theme of big plays here at the Astrodome, this could be the final major sporting event here at the historic Astrodome. Opened in 1965, called the 8th Wonder World, and boy, it's seen a lot of good stuff. Mickey Mantle opened it up with the home run, and then remember the Big E, Elvin Hayes in Houston, knocking off UCLA's big winning streak. The Battle of the Sexes, Billie Jean King, a historic win, and Hall of Famer Earl Campbell. Love you, Blue. Big Monday night football game for the Oilers, and Nolan Ryan at the age of 38, 4,000 strikeouts. All impressive, Mark, but hey, how can we forget about that big comeback in Bad News Bears Part 2?
Or the plethora of interceptions I threw here when I was playing for the Steelers, Rob. Thank you very much. It's been a great building, a lot of great memories. Texas A&M has the ball, 1st and 10 on about the 49-yard line. 3 wide receivers, motion to crack, and we have the reverse. Dwayne Goins is the ball carrier, and he's going to pick up about 7 yards. I'd like to invite you to log on to ESPN.com and participate in our poll. What was the greatest sporting event in the history of the Astrodome? Was it the first home run hit by Mickey Mantle here, that Battle of the Sexes, or the Houston-UCLA game? Log on, cast your vote. We'll have results a little later in our broadcast.
The fans are oohing and ahhing over the crackback block by Terrence Murphy, number 5. Crackback on Charlie Owens.
2nd and 3, 3 wide receiver set. Farmer, the lone setback. Here comes the pressure. Wow, what a hit by McDonald on Farmer. Wow. And speaking of hits, let's go back and take a look at that crackback play, Coach.
Crackback here at the bottom of your screen. Number 5 is going to come back and crack back and make the block. Look out. He's trying to get even. Owens just made the big play, picking up the fumble and returning it for a touchdown.
Well, his teammate, LaMarcus McDonald, got a little revenge. He put the hammer down on Derek Farmer on the blitz that time. Farmer picked him up, but he ended up on his backside.
Mark, do you ever see a linebacker get a jump on the ball and get in the backfield like McDonald's doing?
It's uncanny. But then again, it's the reason you have 7 penalties in the first half already for TCU. 3rd and 3, Texas A&M slot left, power I left. Ferris rolls out, throwback screen to Carragher. Not only one big play, but 2 catches. The second catch of his young career. LaMarcus McDonald pushes him out after a 19-yard gain.
Well, you got to stay at home. The outside linebacker here for TCU's got to stay at home and make this play. This is a little screen. The outside linebacker, he's rushing. He's got to stay at home here. They're going to throw the ball back to the tight end, and you see the offensive linemen and tackles get out in front. We even saw the McKinney getting out there, the center, making a good block, number 77.
Well, clearly TCU hadn't seen Carragher catch a ball on all his starts, so they've left him alone, and R.C. Slocum has used that to his advantage. He's got 2 catches for 57 yards.
Have to make a halftime adjustment and start accounting for the tight end.
So TCU hands the ball, or excuse me, A&M hands the ball off to Keith Joseph, good for 6 yards off the left side. Kenneth Hilliard on the stop.
Mark, that's the kind of offense that I thought A&M would come out and run. That was a pure I formation made famous by John McKay out of Southern California a long time ago. But good block by Joe Weber, number 28, to fullback, and it's what we call an isolation play. Double down, and the fullback isolates on the linebacker. Straight ahead, north-south type football.
Time winds down here in the first half, just under 3 minutes. It's 2nd and 4 Aggies. I formation, slot left. Nobody left in the secondary for TCU. Everybody up around the line of scrimmage. Ferris back to pass, stares it down, and then completes it to Jamar Taylor, who works his way down, finally forced out of bounds just inside the 5-yard line. Devin Davis, Kenneth Hilliard on the play. Good for 15 yards. Taylor, the transfer from Notre Dame.
What's the inside receiver here, Taylor? We're going to see him run down here and make a little out move, catch the ball, and then after he became a ball carrier, after he caught the pass, makes the defensive back miss him, almost put this ball in the end zone. Very athletic move by Jamar Taylor. He's caught 39 passes so far this year. And that big tight end, Carragher, number 98, protecting the quarterback's backside.
I like to see him set just a little bit more inside, though, Coach. As a former quarterback, I don't want to get my ribs broke. 1st and goal now for A&M inside the 5. Keith Joseph takes the ball, but doesn't get much against that TCU defense, which is stiffening now on the goal line.
That's what happens when your fullback doesn't block anybody. The fullback there, Stacey Jones, didn't block anybody on that particular play, and the linebacker came free to make the tackle. They're taking Jones out.
Horned Frogs have already put up one big-time goal line stand early in this football game to turn Texas A&M away. And again, their style of defense with so many people up around the line of scrimmage is conducive to goal line stands. 2nd and goal, motion. Joseph again, 2nd effort. Get it down to about the 2-yard line. Chad Pugh, defensive tackle, on the stop.
Wes McDonald here, number 44, the linebacker. Again, get the jump on the ball. Scrapes what we call a scrape move, scraped over top and made the tackle. Kept Joseph out of the end zone.
Such an athlete, Coach, but when we talk to him, you ask him about his technique, he'll run around things, he'll take things on with a flipper. He's kind of a freelance artist. He makes a lot of big plays, but sometimes he can give up a big play.
That's a good point.
Full house backfield, motion, 3rd and goal. Finally, Joe Weber carries the ball in for the Aggies. A 2-yard touchdown for Weber, who, by the way, led this football team in rushing touchdowns with 6 on the year.
Mark, a good football team has got to answer. A&M could have very easily folded their 10 after Owens picked the ball up and ran it back to the touchdown, but they came back and answered. That was a nice drive. A good series by the A&M offensive football team.
So, as time winds down, A&M will look to make it a 7-point lead. Cody skates. For the extra point, and it's good. We take a look at touchdown again from down low, Coach.
This is power football. It's double down and kick out. Just run off tackle. The tight end and tackle blocked down on the defensive end. The fullback kicked out on the outside linebacker. And Joe Weber, 6'3", 230-pound sophomore, put the ball in the end zone. One of the few players on this football team that's not from Texas. He's from San Bernardino, California.
Just a reminder, coming up, College Game Day at the half report. Chris Fowler, Terry Bowden, and Rodney Gilmore. We'll get you up to date on the Maryland running back, Bruce Perry. We'll update his injury, the Music City Bowl preview, and news on Nick Saban. Will he stay or will he leave? All that and more on the College Game Day Halftime Report. So 1:05 left in the first half. And we'll see if TCU, Casey Printers, their big play quarterback who struggled in the first half, can muster up some points here before we go to the break. Taryn Williams, the Terrence Dunbar back to receive for the Horned Frogs. Skates, sends this back deep into the end zone, touchback. So TCU will have to take over at the 20-yard line. Reminder, Capital One Bowl Week continues tonight at 8:30 Eastern Time, 5:30 Pacific. Texas versus Washington in the Culligan Holiday Bowl on ESPN. And during the game, go to ESPN.com to take part in Verge Friday. You can watch, play, or follow along with our two coaches, second guess the guys on the field. More on college football information, you can log on to ESPN.com.
This A&M defensive football team has completely dominated TCU offense the first half. TCU only has 33 yards total offense.
Ricky Madison will not add to that. It looks like TCU is resigned to go ahead and run the clock out here in the first half. Harold Robertson.
I think I agree with that move right there, Mark. I think I would go ahead and get out of here if I was Coach Patterson and try to regroup at halftime.
We mentioned the fact that they're a double threat. Certainly Printers is, but so far minus 17 yards on the option. It's been a very anemic output. A lot of mistakes. 2 interceptions by Printers. He's been sacked. And now we have 2 wide receivers slot left. And again, the dive handoff to the fullback up the middle. Reggie Holtz picks up about 1 yard.
I think if I was A&M, I might take a timeout here and force them to punt the football. This is only 3rd down, but I think A&M has 2 timeouts left. They're going to let the clock run out, though.
Well, they find themselves just down a touchdown, which probably isn't too bad. They're right in this football game, and we're going to have a heck of a second half. But now R.C. Slocum and Texas A&M decides they'll have a timeout with about 2 seconds left on the clock.
They waited too long to take timeout. I think we have 6 seconds left here in the first half. And they're not going to be able to keep A&M from running out the clock. RC's a little upset. Why did we wait so long to take a timeout?
Well, certainly there's a possibility of blocking a punt to decide to do that. But
you got somebody like Jay Brooks who's blocked 5 punts already this year. I would have taken a time out there a lot earlier and forced A&M or forced TCU to have to punt the football.
Well, R.C. Slocum, he has never had a losing season in 13 seasons at Texas A&M. 2-8 in bowl games, however.
Winningest coach in Southwest Conference history.
There's Byron Jones, the true freshman, who has been the story of the first half so far. 2 interceptions, filling in for Sean Weston, who was a scratch because of the hyperextended knee. That was a tip by Sammy Davis. And Jones returned it 60 yards. Then on the first play back, it's Jones again who picks off another ball and gets it down to inside the 1-yard line. Mark Ferris put that one in on a quarterback sneak for the first score as time ticks away in the first half. We've got 14-17 Texas A&M lead. Send it back to the studio now in Chris Fowler.
All right, Mark, thank you. If you want to look at it in terms of offense versus defense, the defense got 14 points. The offenses have 7 if you don't count that half-yard touchdown drive A&M had.
It's all about the A&M defense, but still you got to like the offense a little bit. How about the play of the tight end, Thomas Carriger, the freshman, converted from a defensive end, 2 big catches for A&M in the first half. They got some offense.
I don't like any of these offenses. This game is going to be one with special teams and turnovers. Don't turn the ball over. Play great special teams. TCU could be kicking themselves in the butt for throwing the ball off the 1-yard line.
Well, this is the first of 3 football games on ESPN today. We'll preview some of those coming up, and it's also Verge Friday, which means you can log on to ESPN.com and They'll take part in things like this. A poll, the best Texas A&M player ever, Ray Childress. Now, there's some respect for the defense. John David Crow won a Heisman Trophy.
We got our vote in. We voted for John David Crow.
See, the problem is guys who are really old enough to have watched him can't use the computer. That's the basic problem with these .com polls.
Welcome back to Houston, Texas, and the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl, where the Texas A&M Aggies are up 14-7 against the TCU Horned Frogs. That is TCU head coach Gary Patterson, who gathered his team together before halftime and chewed their rear ends out. Our own Rob Stone is standing by with the head coach. I can imagine it was probably pretty heated at halftime, Rob.
Yeah, in the locker room as well. Coach Patterson very animated at the end of that first half. What was the message you said to your team?
Well, it's only 14-7. I mean, we've had some turnovers and we've missed some tackles and we've won a couple assignments on defense, but we're in this ball game. We got a whole half left. I told them that's what we came here for, what we worked all year for. This game's not over. We haven't lost yet. Come out and play a great second half. We got to make some plays. Offense got to be able to move the football.
Coach, thanks for your time. One quick note, guys. Confidence, obviously an issue. QB Casey Printers yelled at by offensive coordinator Mike Schultz as he exited the locker room, said, "You're the man, Casey. Go get him right now."
All right, Rob, and your impressions, Coach. Really, it's been a game of turnovers, and Printers hasn't played well. We said he needed to play well for TCU to have a chance.
Casey Printers has got to, if they have a chance to win a football game, he's got to win the game. He's got to get the ball to those wide receivers. They're not going to run the football against A&M. They got to throw the football in the second half.
Only 3 first downs in the first half for TCU. A&M kicking off. And let's get you caught up with all the action in the first half. And it was all Texas A&M defense from the top. Rookie Byron Jones, a true freshman, picked off that deep ball, then returned it 60 yards. He's had 2 interceptions on the night. TCU offense been held to 33 yards in just 18 plays in the first half. And of course, here's the big play for TCU. It was all defense. Charlie Owens picks up the fumble, goes 89 yards. That's the second longest fumble recovery in TCU history. So the Horned Frogs take over now on 1st and 10. Little flip out to Adrian Medice from Printers. And Amon Simon makes the stop. 4 yards on the game.
Again, Mark, I don't believe that TCU is going to run the football against this Aggie defense. Nobody's done it all year long. They held Colorado to 150 yards rushing. Colorado, one of the better rushing teams in college football. You got to get the ball to those wide receivers. You've got Terrence Williams and Dunbar and Medice that can really make something happen once they get the ball in the open field.
Hands the ball off to Ricky Madison. Picks his way through but doesn't get much. About a yard on the gain. Amon Simon on the play. Take a look at Printers now. The last 4 games, and they needed to win their final 2 to get to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. He averaged 290 yards per game, 8 touchdowns, 4 interceptions. Today, just a mere 39 yards, and of course the 2 critical interceptions has given the Aggies their 14-7 lead. 3rd and 4, 3 wide receivers. Lone back, Ricky Madison. Printers, 3-step drop. Sticks it in there. Adrian Medice hauls it in. Good for 13 yards and a first down for TCU.
Medice just ran what we call a choice route. Go down and get open. He faked like he was going deep. Curl back inside. Caught the ball in his hands. Found the open zone. Caught the ball in his hands. And got a critical first down.
Strong safety Terrence Keel on the stop.
Somebody, Mark, for TCU's got to make a big play. They're not going to beat the A&M throwing those short passes. Somebody's got to make a big play. Either break a tackle, run for a touchdown, or catch a long pass.
But it is giving Printers confidence. And he had a horrible first half. 3 wide receivers. Printers back again. And that one caught by Terran Williams on the catch, 14 yards.
That's his first catch of the game. Again, he faked like he was going deep. A real good move. Ran the double move move. That's what we talked to their receivers this week, and that's what they thought they thought they could get open by running a double move, thinking like they were going deep and pulling up in the curl zone.
Texas A&M, very slow backpedalers, read into the backfield, settle and drive on intermediate routes, so the double move's good. As TCU has a first down at the 46. Ricky Madison stopped in the backfield. A swarming A&M defense. Christian Rodriguez leading the way.
Wrecking crew defense. Mike Hankiewicz has got to be very proud of the way they're playing. As I mentioned earlier, they've only allowed 3 runs of over 20 yards so far this year. That's a remarkable stat when you played 11 football games already in the Big 12 Conference.
-2 on that play makes it 2nd and 12 now. TCU. Madison, the lone setback. Critters on the crossing route finds Medice. Only good for about 2 yards because Wes Bodovich, who is the backup safety, strong safety, weak safety, and their nickel man, was right there and made the stop.
That's a good example. We call nickel defense. You got 5 defensive backs in the game. Bodovich, number 30, is playing the curl zone underneath coverage. Ran a little crossing route. The offensive line gave Casey time to throw the football, but that's a nice job by number 30 making the tackle.
So Printers now has 3rd and 10 from the 46. They are 2 of 6 on 3rd down conversions today.
Comes the rush.
Blitz is on. Printers off his back foot, lays it up. Intercepted. A&M. That is the 3rd interception by Byron Jones, the true freshman. What a game he is having here today.
That's just a matter right there, Mark, of Byron Jones wanting to make the play. Number 11, again, a true freshman out of Bay City. The quarterback is going to get hit here just as he delivers the ball. They're bringing the blitz. Printers throws the ball off his back foot. Didn't get much on it. Laid the ball up, but your wide receiver, if you don't make the play, you've got to keep the other guy from making the play. So Medice has got to get up there and be a defensive back, and that should have been an incomplete pass.
Jay Brooks was the guy who put the hit on Printers. But again, I agree with you, Coach. You've got to be able to make that play. So A&M will take over. We've got a penalty flag on the first down. It's like illegal motion.
You know, Mark, that interception's not all bad, though, because you got the ball. It's as good as a punt, really. If you don't make the first down, you got to punt the football. And A&M now, of course, is backed up on their own 3-yard line.
From a field position standpoint, I agree with you, Coach. But from Casey Printers' psyche right now, that's the last thing he needed to have happen was a 3rd interception, especially when a guy like Medice should be able to go up and make the catch.
Good point. Good point. Medice, you're exactly right. Medice has got to make those plays. He's got to get up and outfight the freshman for the football.
So A&M 1st and 12. They're penalized half the distance to the goal. Ferris, little handoff inside to fullback. That's Joe Weber, number 28.
That's what you call ganging up on the ball carrier. They have a lot of people up on the line of scrimmage. They're playing man coverage when you do that. Man coverage in the secondary, but they're not going to let A&M run the football.
Chad Pugh, John Turntine. There's Medice there trying to convince his quarterback that he needs to come back to him, probably apologizing, trying to talk Printers back up. They need him to play well if they're going to have a chance here in the second half. 2nd and 11. And again, a penalty flag. I think this is going to be on number 76, Chad Pugh. Defense, TCU.
Offside on the defense. The penalty marked off in the previous spot. 5 yards. Repeat 2nd down.
The 5th offsides of the day so far.
Watch McKinney. We talked about how smart a football player he is. This is the 50th consecutive game he started for A&M. The minute the defensive lineman penetrated the neutral zone, McKinney snapped the football. Created an offside penalty on the defense.
So instead of a 2nd and 12, now they have 2nd and 7. Look at that, 3.73 grade point average. The runner-up to the Remington Award for the best center in college football and an academic All-American.
Needs 5 hours to get his master's degree.
Derek Farmer with a carry. Chad Pugh got called for the offsides. Now makes the tackle.
Mark, a key third down play here for TCU's defense. You got 3rd and 5. They hold them here. They're going to get the ball in good field position, and maybe the confidence level would get back up. Get the ball in the red zone.
So let's call it 3rd and 5. Gary Patterson makes his defensive call and looks on.
Got Greg Porter in the game at tight end, so look for a pass play. Pass or draw.
Going deep, Ferris throws it up against blitz coverage, and we have a flag. Goss didn't look back to play the ball. He played the receiver, and flags all over the place. And now we might have a personal foul on top of it all.
Mark, I believe you're exactly right. That's obviously pass interference on Jason Goss, number 39, the corner, trying to play man coverage. But I believe we have a personal foul penalty after the play was over.
That's Goss, who will no doubt be the first part of this penalty. The officials trying to sort out exactly what the second penalty is. James Fogeltans, our referee today from a Pac-10 officiating crew. A long discussion. Let's hear it.
There are 2 penalties on the play. First penalty is defensive pass interference. That'd be 15 yards, automatic first down. The second penalty is a dead ball, unsportsmanlike conduct against the offense. That penalty is 15 yards, but it'll still be first down.
Well, the unsportsmanlike penalty was probably against Terrence Murphy. Let's take a look at the play, Coach.
That looks like good coverage. He's got to look back. Oh, that's pass interference. You got to look back for the football. You cannot be pushing the ball. You can't make contact with the receiver when the ball's in the air.
And then right there, let's take a look at this. Right there, Terrence Murphy kind of goes after Goss, and there goes another flag. R.C. Slocum gets there, but it's too late. So,
Mark, this is a change in college football.
10, Texas A&M.
All right, so let's just sort this out now. Texas A&M will retain the football. It'll be first down and 10 as the officials now determine where the ball will be spotted after first the pass interference and then the unsportsmanlike
the change this year is now it's first and 10. Last year would have been first and 20.
Okay, so they've spotted it at the 13-yard line. It'll be first and 10 Aggies. And they set up in a passing formation. 4 wide receivers shotgun. A lot of people at the line of scrimmage, and here comes the blitz. Little shovel pass, incomplete. TCU saying they have the ball, but that's not a fumble. That is a pass. The ball's dropped. It's an incomplete pass.
Good call, Mark. That's exactly right. Now, if that ball would have been a draw play, had the ball handed backwards, it's a fumble. But when you pitch the ball forward, it's a pass. It's an incomplete pass. That's a good call by the referee.
You can see it right there. Chad Bear all over that play, diagnosed it. So that makes it second and 22 now.
Still got Greg Porter lined up at tight end, so look for another pass play.
Shotgun.
That's a draw.
Draw inside. That is Joe Weber, the fullback. 17 yards on the play, and that'll be a first down. Texas A&M, a big play to get them out of the hole.
A little surprised that TCU didn't recognize that offensive formation. They had Greg Porter split out at the tight end position. Split backs. You got split backs. A good formation to run the draw play. Watch McDonald here, the linebacker. Should have made this tackle. He guessed and anticipated that the back was going to go to his left, and he cut back against the grain. The safety had to make the tackle.
Well, that was the longest rush for either team today, 17 yards. That brings up a 1st and 10. Ferris, the sprint draw to Farmer. TCU penetration. Chad Pugh, the first one to get there. It's his 4th tackle on the day, -2 on the play.
Good play by Chad Pugh. Chad Pugh, he plays what we call a 2 technique. He lines up on the outside shoulder of the offensive guard. 6'3", 277-pound sophomore.
Seth McKinney, when we talked to him about Pugh, he said he's a big, strong guy, a bull rusher. And he has been a factor today. 2nd and 12. Shotgun formation. Again, they go back to the draw. Again, it's Joe Weber. Nathan Roach on the play, gain of 8 yards.
The linebackers have got to stay at home and help out. You don't want that big fullback taking on your safety too many times like that in the open field.
Well, again, now it looks like Texas A&M is using all of this aggressiveness, all this blitzing, getting after the passer against the Horned Frogs, and starting to run the draws and the misdirection play.
It looks like TCU's defense is getting a little tired of me. They're not flying around here in this part of the ballgame like they did early in the game.
3rd and 5. Ferris over the middle. That would be Porter. Greg Porter, the tight end. Kenneth Hilliard, number 2, makes the stop right along the 1st down marker. It's going to depend on the spot here. And our referee says 1st down. Gary Patterson says, you got to be kidding me.
Greg Porter, Dino Babers, the offensive coordinator, told us when Greg Porter was in the game, look for the pass or draw. They're taking him out right now, so I'm assuming we can see a running play this time. But Porter's a big target. He's 6'5", 230-pounder. That's good size for a wide receiver.
He's also a guy that plays some baseball and will probably make a lot of money doing that. In fact, this might be his final season at A&M. 1st and 10. Farmer on the counter. Hits it up in there. Marcus McDonald on the stop for 4 yards. And we have another penalty flag.
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. 15 yards, automatic 1st down.
So Texas A&M, R.C. Slocum get a gift there. Again, TCU leading the nation in penalties, averaging over 10 a game. Gary Patterson says, hey, we're an aggressive defense. That's going to happen. It's the stupid penalties, and that is what he's talking about when he talks about stupid penalties. TCU already 10 penalties, which is their year-long average for 72 yards today, Coach.
And a lot of them have been what we call dead ball penalties. That play happened after the play is over. Had no effect whatsoever on the outcome of the play. I think that was on Chad Bayer, number 48, the linebacker. Looked like he threw a forearm.
Frustration showing through for the Horned Frogs. 2 receivers left. Play action bootleg under pressure. Ferris throws it up and just gets rid of that one. Smart play by the 26-year-old quarterback. Charlie Owens had the pressure on Ferris.
Here they bring the safety. Charlie Owens, number 17, from the bottom of your screen here, came unblocked, as you can see. And again, that's a nice job by Mark Ferris getting rid of the football. That's not grounding when you throw the ball down the field past the line of scrimmage.
Ferris 7 of 14, 103 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, but he's been sacked twice today by that TCU defense. Second and 10. Farmer, the deep high back. Ferris audible. Miscommunication between himself and Terrence Murphy, the freshman. I think he was waiting for the double move, and when it didn't happen, Ferris was forced to throw it away.
Mark, that is close to grounding. That ball went downfield, looked like about 1 yard past the line of scrimmage, which is okay, but That's a pretty close call there. You know, this TCU defense is playing good football, in my opinion. They're only giving up 170 yards in a game. That's not bad, considering they've been on the field all afternoon.
Well, you look at the play selection for an A&M. 32 rushes, 15 passes. That's what R.C. Slocum said they wanted to do, come in and run the football. And really, for the most part, they haven't been that successful throwing the ball, other than to Thomas Carragher, the tight end, who has only got 2 catches in his freshman year.
And they only have 68 yards running the football, so that's pretty good defense by TCU.
10th ranked rush defense in the country as Ferris takes the shotgun snap. Can't find anybody open. Finally leaves the pocket. He's not going to get much. Brandon Johnson on the stop. No gain.
That'd be fine. We're going to see man coverage here on the top of your screen. The rest of the guys are all blitzing inside. A good job covering man-to-man in the secondary. Good job there. That's what we call a coverage sack.
Looks like what we call robber man with 2 men free in the middle. It's going to force the punt now. Skates down inside the 10-yard line. Byron Jones downs it, and A&M will go on defense, leading 14-7 over TCU.
Welcome back to Houston, where A&M has a 7-point lead. During that last series, TCU QB Casey Printers spent the time just kind of with a glazed look, roaming the sideline by himself, looking up into the stands. A lot of the fans behind him providing support, saying, Casey, remember East Carolina, where he came on in the second half, Mark, threw for over 300 yards on 50 attempts, almost led him to a huge comeback.
That's right. Came off with a bad right shoulder and still had a great performance. Printers 7 of 12. Well, now 7 of 13. 3 interceptions, 69 yards on the day. Big play. Jay Brooks had the pressure.
He took a shot from Jay Brooks. Jay Brooks came from the top of your picture there. The weak side corner was on a blitz, and Casey's got to get rid of the football a lot quicker than he did on that play.
The one thing about the blitz is you get a lot of man coverage. You don't have to read it much as a quarterback. You have to make quick decisions to get the ball out. TCU 2nd and 10 now from about the 5-6 yard line. Ricky Madison nowhere to go. Hit in the backfield by that wrecking crew defense and almost to safety. Look at TCU. We talked about their last 4 ball games. They had to beat Louisville and Southern Miss on the road that final game to get here to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. Look at the numbers. High 300s, in the 400s in terms of offense. Today, only 65 yards against the number 10 ranked Aggies defense.
This Aggie defense led the Big 12 in sacks. I don't believe TCU is going to be able to run the football. They have -7 yards rushing now in this ball game. So I think they're going to have to throw the football, throw it down the field.
Printers back to pass in his own end zone. Breaks out of the pocket, looks deep. Got Medise and just overthrows Medise. Sammy Davis was on coverage. That might have been their best chance of the day to hit the deep ball, and Printers just missed it.
Sammy Davis, the best cover guy, although during this ball game we can't say enough about the play of Byron Jones, this true freshman starting his first ball game that has 3 interceptions during the game. But Sammy Davis made a nice play there, number 22, the most valuable defensive player on this wrecking crew defense.
So that brings on Joey Bassotti, who will punt from the back of his end zone. He's punted 3 times today, his last 49 yards. Gets this one out, not a pretty one, and it's going to get out of bounds right around the 40-yard line. They're going to call it the 39-yard line. So good position now for Texas A&M. Find themselves leading 14-7 over TCU. We'll be back with more action after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 GalleryFurniture.com Bowl is brought to you by Red Zone from Old Spice. Intense protection for intense people. And by United Online. Internet service for half the price of AOL. Call 1-877, only $9.95.
Back in what they regarded as the former 8th wonder of the world, the Houston Astrodome. Perhaps the final big sporting event ever played in this building. The Houston Texans will start next year in 2002 in their new building. Halfback pass by Texas A&M. Badly underthrown. Oshler Fleming is the thrower, or the passer. Jamar Taylor, the man on the other end, but it didn't fool TCU.
Dino Babers told us they're going to run this halfback pass during the game, and this is a good time to call it, coming after a timeout. Ball in good field position on the 39-yard line, but that's good coverage. The secondary was not fooled on that particular play. Good coverage by number 20.
Fleming slipped a little bit on that.
Chris Peoples, number 20, backup safety.
Second and 10, shotgun. Ferris changing the play now at the line of scrimmage.
Pass or draw. You got the quarter in the game at tight end.
Going deep. Dwayne Goins, incomplete, but a flag on the play. Bo Springfield was in coverage.
Again, that looked like that was pretty good coverage up until right at the end of the play, where Springfield's got to look back for the ball. You cannot be pushing off when you're not looking back for the football. The defensive back's got to make an effort to make the play.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards from the 35. First down.
Bo Springfield, number 30, is another one of those baseball players. 26-year-old, played baseball 4 years for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I think we can see there that it was pushing off and was not looking back for the football.
Well, Ferris is happy. That was a poorly thrown ball. He really hasn't thrown the ball well today at all. And that one wasn't on the mark, but he gets a break there. And it becomes first down and 10 from the 24-yard line.
Mark, it comes down to somebody making plays. You throw the ball up like that, the defensive back's got to either make the interception or the wideout's got to make a play. Somebody's got to make a play.
High right, Keith Joseph with the carry. And the Aggies continue to pound away. Chris Peoples, the free safety, on the tackle for a gain of 5 yards.
Keith, a big power back, 6'2", 220-pound, 21-pound freshman. There's so many freshmen play. There's 4 true freshmen that start for this A&M offensive football team. A very young team. Bodes good for R.C. Slocum in the future of A&M football.
Look at the disparity here. Aggies 74 yards, TCU -8 net yards rushing so far today. Ferris hands the ball off to Joseph again. He's gang tackled. And then thrown to the turf. Let's send it down to the field now in Rob Stone.
Joined now by Jerry Ippoliti, President, CEO of the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl here. Big news for you guys regarding next year when you move next door to the brand new Reliant Park Stadium.
Yeah, we signed initially a 5-year contract, which is 2 years here in our historical dome, and in our last 3 years is going to be over at Reliant Park. We're very excited about that because this game certainly is building an excellent foundation with the crowd we have today to move into that outstanding stadium, which is 72,000.
How much momentum will that give you as you guys try and upgrade this bowl game?
Well, the enhancement right here of both teams playing from Texas, a lot of institutions want to be a part of that new stadium. It's a great recruiting tool and certainly an outstanding facility to have an opportunity to play.
Jerry, thank you for your time.
Yes, sir, thank you.
All right, so with 3rd and 2, Ferris finds the fullback Joe Weber for 6 yards and a first down.
Good safe call there, Mark. Joe Weber came out of the backfield. Looked like he was going to go to the flat. Then he came back underneath, caught the ball, and picked up some valuable yards for a key first down. This is a key series here. A&M scores here. Obviously, TCU's got to score twice to get back in this ball game.
Texas A&M, 15 first downs. They had 15 first downs in the last 2 regular season games total. Ferris can't make the handoff and has to keep the ball himself. It was like a busted play. Chad Pugh, LaMarcus McDonald in on the stop. -4 on that, but it looks like he and the halfback miscommunicated here.
Almost mishandled the play. I think that was supposed to be a handoff to the dive back, but Ferris either didn't get the ball to him or they had miscommunication on that play. It could have resulted in a fumble.
Dwayne Goins, a wide receiver in the backfield, and that's probably why you had a different route. You're probably not used to running that dive play.
Yeah, offensively, I don't think you take a lot of chances. I think you come out of here at least with a field goal.
Shotgun. There's that draw. They've been running with all kinds of success. Joe Weber spins out of a tackle. Touchdown. A&M is second touchdown of the day. 14 yards on the carry.
They've had a lot of success with the draw play. When you throw the football, the draw, of course, complements the passing game. Good call, a well-executed play. Good run by Joe Weber. A big, strong, 6'2", 230-pound sophomore out of San Bernardino, California.
So Skates is on for the extra point to make it 21-7. And it is good. So Texas A&M pound away and pound away for the second time today. Joe Weber comes up with a touchdown out of the draw. The Aggies lead 21-7. Welcome back to Houston, Texas. Texas A&M 21-7 over TCU. Mark Malone along with Coach John Cooper and Rob Stone on the sideline as we count down to the third quarter. That man, Mr. Weber, scored his second touchdown of the day. 6-play drive, 39 yards, just under 3 minutes. And TCU now is starting to run out of time. Taryn Williams, Terrence Dunbar back. Dunbar takes the kickoff. Got some room. Finally brought down out to the 37-yard line. And just a reminder that tonight on ESPN, Boston College meets Georgia in the Music City Bowl, 5 o'clock Eastern time. That's 2 p.m. in Nashville, Tennessee. As Capital One Bowl Week continues. For more college football information, log on to ESPN.com. Of course, that game will feature William Green. Nearly 1,600 yards on the season, second in the NCAA. Big time back, Coach.
Maybe the best back in college football this year. Only a junior, but I think he's already announced that this will be his last game. I think he's coming. He's going to the National Football League next year.
So TCU takes over. Printers now forced to throw the football. It's a downfield. Medice goes down to scoop it up, and they said he got under it. Byron Jones is in coverage, 13 yards on the play.
That's a great job by Medice coming back for the football. The ball was underthrown. Doesn't look like Casey's really planting his feet, Mark, really stepping forward and throwing that ball with a lot of confidence. But a good play by the wide receiver there, Adrian Medice.
Looks uncomfortable. His worst game this year, Casey Printers, against Houston. He was 12 of 22, 2 interceptions, 89 yards, but they won that game 34-17.
Mark, look down here at the bottom of your screen. We've got a wide receiver, and the defensive back's playing 10 yards off of him. Throw the ball in front. Throw the short pass.
Printers breaks out of the pocket to the right side, finds Terrence Dunbar on the sideline. Good enough for a first down. After that play, picks up 11 yards. Byron Jones again in coverage.
We opened the ball game throwing the short pass and giving the receiver a chance to run the ball. We haven't come back to that. When they give you a 10-yard cushion like that, I think you've got to throw the football, give the wide receiver a chance to become a ball carrier in the open field. Same thing again. Look what, 2 wideouts down at the bottom of your screen. You got 2 wideouts. They've got 1 defensive back. Sprint this way, throw the ball in the flat.
Defensive strategy changing for A&M with a 2-touchdown lead. Printers over the middle, a little delay. Terrence Dunbar only picks up about 4 or 5 yards on the play. Amon Simon made the stop.
See, the Ag is bringing in some fresh people. Can't say enough about the job they've done on the defensive side of the ball. The Wrecking Crew defense is sure flying around here this afternoon.
So TCU unable to get off a play before the end of the quarter. But they'll reset themselves, turn around and go the other way as they continue to try to overcome the 21-7 deficit they find themselves in. Back after this. Welcome back to Houston, Texas in the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. TCU and Texas A&M. R.C. Slocum, before we... This team finds himself 21-7. But TCU is driving. 2nd and 5 for the Horned Frogs. Printers changing the play at the line of scrimmage. Back to pass. Here comes the blitz. Off his back foot. What a horrible pass. Intercepted by Wes Bodovich.
Casey just threw that one up for grabs, Mark. There's no way. You got to plant your feet, get rid of the football. You don't just throw the ball up and hope that something happens.
The 4th interception on the day for Printers, a career worst. And again, they're coming with the blitz, but you either got to get out of the pocket or stand in there and throw it.
You got to side adjust. You got to get rid of the football, but throw it to the intended receiver. You just don't throw it down the field, throw it up in the air and let the defensive back get underneath it. But I think we're finding out right now how tough this Big 12 conference is. There's 8 bowl teams from this league. Of course, Nebraska, Colorado, Texas, Texas Tech, Kansas State, Oklahoma, and Iowa State. In addition to Texas A&M, they're playing in bowl games. It's a very tough league. I think probably the toughest league in college football this year.
So A&M takes over. 1st and 10. About the 18-yard line. Ferris back to pass. Over the middle to Mickey Jones. The senior, and watch out. He's gone. 10-5. Touchdown. Texas A&M. Touchdown reception from Mickey Jones.
I think that's the best pass I've seen Mark Ferris throw today. You play man coverage, you got to take away the inside, and the defensive back didn't do that. And once Mickey Jones got the ball in the open field, you're not going to catch him. It looks like he runs track, and of course there's some great track athletes here in the state of Texas. 14
receptions on the season, no touchdowns. His first touchdown of the season. Skates now with the extra point try. Right down the middle. And the interceptions by Casey Printers have proved costly. Now as A&M takes a 27-7 lead. Welcome back to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl. Texas A&M kicking off with Terrence Dunbar, number 3, with a return. Will give the Horned Frogs possession of the ball about the 25-yard line. Texas A&M threatening to run away with this football game as time ticks away now in the 4th quarter. 14:30 to play, but every down now counts for Printers and these Horned Frogs.
Mark, and talking to R.C. Slocum, he felt like his defensive football team was going to give another great effort. He's proud of the way they played all year long. They played well. Down the stretch, they played well against Oklahoma. Played well against Texas. Texas only scored 2 touchdowns against this defense, and one of them came real late in the ball game.
Well, Printers complete to Adrian Medis for 13 yards. Officials ruling the play down. So again, we've seen this a couple times today from TCU in terms of they moved the ball, but then a critical mistake.
We talked earlier about A&M stopping TCU's option games. Obviously, they've done that, so now TCU's got to throw the football. They've got 4 wide receivers here in the game. Got to throw the ball. Got to get rid of it.
Here comes pressure. Handoff. Ricky Madison. He finds his way out of trouble in the backfield. It's about 2-3 yards on the play. Let's bring you up to date with how we got to this score. Here you go. Joe Weber, the second of his 2 touchdowns on the game, out of the draw play, which has been very effective. The critical errors for TCU, Casey Printers, under pressure, throwing 4 interceptions on the day. And that helped set up this Mickey Jones touchdown to make it 28-7. Now TCU takes over. Printers in trouble again under pressure. 1, 2, 3 Aggies in. Jay Brooks, Gerard Penwright, 3rd sack of of the day for the Aggies.
The Aggie defense right now is just taking charge of this ball game. I can't say enough about the play of the front three. Ty Warren and nose guard Evan Peroni, number 93, and number 95, Rocky Bernard. They've taken charge inside, and now the linebackers and even an occasional defensive backer coming off the corner on the blitz.
Jay Brooks, the free safety. They call him Big Play Jay. Probably the first one to get there and put pressure, but he had a lot of friends on their way to help.
They're keeping up. They're keeping that pad level low up front. Watch the defensive line come off the ball and just whipping TCU's offensive line.
3rd and 20 from the shotgun. Plenty of time. The D tries to get out of the pocket. He's tackled by Christian Rodriguez, who makes a great diving stop.
And they did that with a 4-man rush. Only brought 4 and dropped 7. That front 4 for A&M is really playing a good ball game here. Jason Gerard Penwright, also number 43, the right outside linebacker, is another good football player.
Rodriguez, who says that he uses his intelligence and his speed to his advantage.
Watch your man Jay Brooks right here, Mark. Number 21. He's blocked 5 kicks. Well, look out. Get it off.
Ricky Jones gets knocked down for his trouble. Adam Black downs the ball. A&M up 28-7 with time running out on TCU. We're back in Houston after this.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 GalleryFurniture.com Bowl is presented by GalleryFurniture.com, the finest, fastest, most affordable store in the world, and in part by Capital One, proud sponsor of the Capital One Florida Citrus Bowl on January 1st.
TCU quarterback Casey Printers, 4 interceptions on the day. We said at the top of the show, if TCU was going to have a chance, he was going to have to play well. That hasn't happened, and TCU finds himself trailing 28-7. Texas A&M hands the ball off to Derek Farmer, the true freshman. Doesn't pick up much of anything there.
Mark, one thing I talked about during my coaching career, the team that makes the fewest mistakes usually wins a football game. You cannot turn the football over 4 times and throw 4 interceptions and have a chance to beat a good football team like Texas A&M.
14 of the A&M points have come off the 4 interceptions, so you take that away and it's a 14-7 ball game. Think about it.
Here's our passing formation again with Porter split out at the top of your screen, number 44, the tight end.
Had a lot of success running the draw out of this formation, and there it is again. Joe Weber, who has a couple of touchdowns on the day, picks up a gain of 9. Let's get you up to date now with our ESPN.com poll. What was the greatest sporting event in the history of the Houston Astrodome? We ask you to log on and vote. Nolan Ryan's 4,000th strikeout game wins it going away, 40%. Big E ending UCLA's streak. That's a distant second. I thought Mantle's first home run here would have probably been first, Coach.
And Nick, Commerce, Oklahoma. I'm surprised he didn't get any more votes than that.
Nearly 30,000 people registering, although people who can remember Mantle probably don't know how to log on to the internet. Here we go. Texas A&M 3rd and a long one. They hand it off to Farmer, and he looks like he stopped cold the first down.
Did not make it. That's a good stop by the front 4 there of the TCU defense. John Turntile, number 49, and Chad Pugh, number 76, stepped up by the what we call 2 techniques and made the play.
So that brings out Cody Scapes, who is both the place kicker and the punter.
You got to come after this punt, Mark. You got to block the kick.
He's punted 4 today, averaging just under 40 yards, and he gets off a big one. Jason Goss back to receive at the 10-yard line under pressure, slips 1 tackle, but unable to get away from another as Byron Jones makes the tackle, 50 yards on the punt, just a 1-yard return. Well, as TCU it's ready to come back on offense, let's take a look at Casey Printer's day, and it's been a tough one. From the very beginning, he's been under pressure as the A&M defense has come after him. Knocked down, whether he's thrown the ball or he's run the option. Throwing the ball up for grabs, 4 interceptions Again, very disappointing day for a very bright young man, a very good person when you sit down and talk to him, Coach, but here he comes out firing again.
That's what we're talking about. You got the 2 wide receivers split out here to the bottom of your screen. They got a nice cushion, so you got to take what the defense allows you to get. You don't get big play every time you throw the football.
Printer's only a junior, so he does have another year. He completes that one to Taryn Williams, number 83. That's a pickup of about 7 yards. 2nd and 3 now. Single back, Printer's back. Throwing the hook. But Terrence Dunbar, he manages to squeeze it in under pressure. But again, after an 11-yard pickup, you watch Printers, he's just not comfortable bouncing around, backing up, Coach. He doesn't look like he's real disciplined with his feet.
It looked like he pointed exactly to who he's going to throw that football to. I thought the receiver was open coming across the middle, and he's taking another shot here after he gets rid of the football. Holding the ball too long.
Well, that's one reason. Ricky Madison takes the handoff and picks up a first down out to the 43-yard line, a gain of 13 on the play.
Mark, I promise you that's a good run against this Aggie defense. They've only given up 3 runs of 20 yards or more this season. That is an amazing stat. I can't believe it. The way the teams in the Big 12 run the football, Colorado, Nebraska, people like that. Of course, Nebraska didn't play A&M, but those teams are good running the football in the Big 12.
Longest run of the day for TCU, 13 yards on the ground. 1st and 10. Prentice back to pass, again under pressure. Tries to escape and can't. Christian Rodriguez was the first one in, followed by Harold Robertson, strong safety, or excuse me, inside linebacker. Gary Patterson now, the defensive genius, starting to get a little bit of his own medicine, getting people coming after you.
These guys are 2 good athletes. They're very athletic, A&M's defensive football team there. Prentice might have been right. He looked like he was a little upset he didn't get a face mask penalty. It looked like he could have had an incidental penalty there, Mark.
That face mask would have called on Harold Robertson, but TCU doesn't get it again. Prentice now gets out of the pocket, looking downfield, throwing across the field. You never want to do that. Lucky that one was not intercepted. Wes Bodovich was on the play. Right. He already has 1 interception on the day, and
you don't want to throw back across the grain like that.
10 tackles for loss today. We talked about the TCU defense and 8-man fronts. They get after you and all the tackles for loss, but it's been all wrecking crew. 4 interceptions as well, giving TCU a little of their own medicine, Coach.
Mark, a little surprised we haven't seen any screen passes. You know, a screen's a very effective play when you're rushing as hard as A&M's defense is rushing. A lot of times you'll see them run the flanker screen, what we call a jailbreak screen, getting the ball to a good receiver and allowing those offensive linemen to block downfield.
So Printers on 3rd and 23. He's already been sacked 5 times, and here comes some more pressure. Gerard Penwright chasing him down. Printers can't get away. That's the 6th sack of Casey Printers on the day. Evan Peroni, Brandon Johnson ultimately bring him down, but it was Penwright who flushed him out of the pocket.
A little twist by those defensive linemen. They did not blitz on that play. They rushed 4 and dropped 7. Sometimes they even rush 3 and drop 8, but that particular time, you can see Coach Patterson's very upset with his offensive line. They're just getting whipped up front.
Blood, Barrick, the 2 tackles. A lot of the pressures come from the outside. Sadi barely gets that one off. Mickey Jones lets it go. He fakes the fair catch. Should take a couple of TCU bounces. Down to about the 2-yard line. Mark Walker downs at 69 yards on the punt. 28-7, Texas A&M. Back in a moment. Welcome back to Houston, where Texas A&M leads TCU 28-7. It's been all Texas A&M defense, but it wasn't always that way. Earlier in the season, after a couple of games, R.C. Slocum was not happy with the way his team was playing football. It wasn't wrecking crew defense. So he took his team to task, and our sideline cameras caught him just before the Oklahoma State game.
If you put on that suit and go out there on that field, play like you're upholding tradition, and you've got some pride in who you are, what you represent. Play hard. Play hard. That's something everybody in this room can do. If you don't do it, I'm going to ask you tomorrow why.
That was just prior to that Oklahoma State game, after he had taken his team through a series of grueling practices the week before. And it has turned it around as A&M takes over now from around their 2-yard line. Keith Joseph on the carry, doesn't get much. And take a look at this. Yards allowed 103, but no points. Remember, that 7 points came off a fumble return. Rushing yards minus 26. Just incredible. You understand now why Casey Prentice has had such a difficult time back there at quarterback, Coach.
I promise you, Mark, Coach Slocum can be very proud of the effort that this defensive football team. They got the message. They got the message loud and clear. They played well the last half of the season.
So this ball just outside of the end zone. 2nd down and about 12. Ferris back to pass. Going deep. Murphy, the true freshman. And that ball not even close. Tyrone Sanders had the coverage.
That was good coverage there by Tyrone Sanders, the young defensive back, 5'10", 168-pound sophomore. Had good position, looked back for the ball, had leverage on the wide receiver. Very good position.
Well, Ferris had what he wanted, man-to-man coverage, but again, good coverage there. Murphy, pretty interesting story in himself, a guy that has really been very productive as a true freshman. The son of a former Texas A&M player. R.C. Slocum did his father a favor and looked at some tape and ultimately found the diamond in the rough. 3rd and 11 for A&M. Ferris in the vicinity of number 3, Terrence Thomas, tipped by Chad McCarty, or excuse me, Bobby Pollard.
Normally, I don't think you take a chance throwing the football when you're backed up like that coming out of your own end zone. But A&M with a comfortable 28-7 lead, I've got this ball game pretty well under control. TCU's got to come with pressure here, try to block a kick, either pressure and block the kick, or else try to hold up and get a good return.
Skates doesn't have much room to work with here. He'll be back on the end line. It's his 6th punt of the day. He's had 2 blocked this season.
Texas blocked one for a touchdown early in the game.
That snapped out of the end zone, and I'll tell you what, that was a planned play by R.C. Slocum. They weren't going to allow that to get blocked. They just snapped it out of the back of the end zone.
Mark, you're exactly right. That ball was snapped way over the punter's head. I think that's a good move. That's that removes any doubt of who's going to win this football game. You give up 2 points, 28-9 lead now, but you're not going to be backed up. You're not going to be, they're not going to have the ball down the red zone.
R.C. Slocum, in his 13th year as the head coach, he is currently the winningest active coach, the 6th winningest active coach in college football. That's a pretty good company there. Joe Paterno, Steve Spurrier. Of course, that's a minimum of 5 years coached. But he is the dean of football, certainly in the southwestern part of the country, and one of the finer football coaches, more successful football coaches in all of college football.
Philip Fulmer, Lloyd Carr, of course, you mentioned, and also Bobby Bowden. Those guys are very successful. R.C. Slocum has done a great job, and Mark, he's done it the right way. He's done it the right way. He's one of the most respected coaches in the game of college football.
4-time Coach of the Year.
His 13th season at A&M, his team has finished in the top 25 in the country 10 out of the last 12 years that he's been there.
The only knock has been the bowl record. 2-8 record in 10 bowl appearances. That's going to change. That'll move to 3-8 today. But you can't argue with the kind of men he builds, the football program he has built, and his ability to win.
Talking to him yesterday, he felt like that his team had really had good preparation and would be mentally ready to play. That was a question mark, I thought, going into this ballgame. Would they be mentally ready to play?
Jason Goss fields the punt. Let's head out to our field reporter, Rob Stone.
Thanks, Mark. We're joined by Houston Texans GM Charlie Casserly. You guys actually get your first roster players tomorrow. You sign your first 10 guys. You have the expansion draft coming up in February on ESPN. But right now, this game right here, you got your scouting profiles right behind you. There's some talent out here, some of the names that you're seeing that might be wearing a Texans uniform soon.
Well, from Texas A&M, you've got the center and captain Seth McKinney. His brother plays with the Indianapolis Colts. Over on defense, defensive end Rocky Bernard. Those are the two probably main senior prospects from A&M. You go over to TCU, Matt Schobel, the talented athletic tight end.
A lot of talk about Drew Bledsoe and your team. Anything you can elaborate on?
Well, we're not allowed to talk about players and other teams. Certainly there has been a lot of speculation about the Patriots trading Drew Bledsoe after the great season Tom Brady had, and we'll have to see what happens.
You guys obviously want a strong quarterback to build a team around. We got a has-been washed-up guy up in the booth. Any interest?
Well, I'll tell you what about Mark. He likes domes, see? People remember him as that big, physical, tough quarterback, and that's what we kind of need, because our quarterback's going to take some hits. But here's what nobody knows. They don't know about the great speed he showed when he ran 90 yards. Hey, Swan and Stallworth, the heck with them. Malone holds the record for the longest touchdown.
Mark, is that a setup or what, huh?
That was a setup, but I don't think Charlie or the Houston Texans have enough medical insurance to cover me if I were to go back on the football field. But it is exciting around here in the Houston area with the Texans getting ready to play in 2002. And we wish Charlie Casserly, Dom Capers, who built an expansion franchise in the Carolina Panthers, you'll remember. So two very experienced people leading the newest NFL franchise.
Nice of Dom Capers, the head coach, to stop by here at halftime along with Chris Palmer, the offensive coordinator for the new Houston football team.
35. Ritters. Sammy Davis, the candy man, on the play.
Our man, Sammy Davis.
Let's take a look at some of the players TCU has lost to the NFL draft. Of course, the celebrated LaDainian Tomlinson, a two-time NCAA rushing champion, Aaron Schobel, George Lane, all picked in the first 4 rounds. So that tells you what progress this TCU program has made over the last several years, Coach.
Well, no question about it. Gary Patterson has done a great job. This is the only senior class in the history of TCU football that's been to 4 straight bowl games. And they had 28 seniors last year, 10 of them drafted, or 10 of them had a chance to play in the National Football League. They had to win the last 2 ball games of the year to get in the bowl game. So give a lot of credit to Gary Patterson and his coaching staff.
Dunbar with the reception. Sammy Davis with a hit, 9 yards, good enough for a first down. Coach, you mentioned the senior class. Their record in 1997, 1-10. Ted McCarty was talking about that to us earlier this week, and he said, listen, I've been through that. I know what it's like as a 5th-year senior to experience this and have a chance to play in a bowl game again for the 4th straight year. Something to be proud about. Under 3 different coaches, I am reminded.
Dennis Franchione, of course, left his program last year to go to the University of Alabama as a head coach. Did a great job, and Gary Patterson was his defensive coordinator the last 4 years. And we mentioned TCU was the #1 defensive team in the country last year.
Ricky Madison was the intended receiver, bobbled the ball there, and that's going to bring up a 2nd down and 10.
Mark, both of these teams have a lot of youth on them. They don't lose many seniors, and both will be very competitive again next year.
Well, it's not only pride at stake here, but recruiting. You mentioned all the players from Houston on the Texas A&M side of the ball. There's a lot of talent, high school talent in this area. As Printers is flushed out of the pocket and again throws on the run, just trying to get away, and Printers is down. But let us remind you that tonight on ESPN, Boston College meets Georgia in the Music City Bowl, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 p.m. in Nashville, Tennessee, as Capital One Bowl Week continues. For more college football information, you can log on to ESPN.com. Well, we've called his number quite a bit today. Big play, Jay Brooks. He's down right now, but take a look.
Came off the corner, and he is a big play man. As we mentioned earlier, he's blocked 5 kicks so far this year, and he's put pressure. They brought the corner blitz quite a few times here this afternoon, and Casey is really taking some shots. Casey Printer, the quarterback from TCU.
Well, you could see the heel of Printers come up and catch him in the solar plex area, it looks like, and I think he's trying to get his breath back right now. Printers 15 of 28, 6 sacks, 4 interceptions, just 144 yards. They've done a great job at A&M defense. And it looks like Jay Brooks is going to be all right. Walks off under his own power. Glad to see that. Aggie fans give him a hand.
Well, that whole secondary has played a great game. Jay Brooks has been all over the field, and of course Byron Jones has 3 interceptions. Sammy Davis, the candy man, is a great cover guy. Terrence Keel has 92 tackles. He's leading tackler on his football team. So Sean Slocum, RC's son, is the defensive secondary coach. So he's got to be very proud of the job his son's done here.
Wes Bonovich, the backup safety, is in now. 4 wide receivers. Pass caught and then drop. Matt Schobel, the intended receiver. He can't hang on. It's been that way for Printers all day.
And that kind of day, tried to run before he caught the football. Usually he's got I think he probably has the best hands of anybody on the TCU football team. Matt Schobel, the big tight end that Charlie Castro talked about, will be a high draft choice in the National Football League. He's 6'5", 257-pound ex-quarterback, ex-wide receiver.
4th and 10.
He's 6'5", 257-pound ex-quarterback, ex-wide receiver.
4th and 10. Obviously down 28-9. They are forced to go for it. Split 3 wide receivers. And then showing a blitz. Printers back under pressure. Forced to throw it early. Incomplete.
And he got knocked down again, Mark. He just doesn't have time to step up in the pocket and plant his feet and throw the football. He's taking a physical beating here in the ballgame this afternoon.
Nose guard Marcus Jasmine with the pressure. Printers limps off. He has been beat up today, sacked 6 times. 15 of 30, 144 yards. But again, the 4 interceptions and 14 of the 28 Texas A&M points came directly off of those interceptions.
35 of these players for A&M, as we mentioned, are from this Houston area, so obviously they're going to go home and celebrate tonight. Little surprise, we're leaving the first team offense in the ball game here late in the game. Good chance to play some of those young kids.
Oshlor Fleming is now in. Running back. Marcus McDonald, we've called his name a lot today. Big time player, makes the play. 3 yards on the carry. 10 tackles for McDonald. We expected that out of him.
The offensive line for A&M just wearing down the TCU defense now. Seth McKinney, the center, really had a good ball game. 302-pound senior. Again, will be a high draft choice. His brother, older brother, plays for the Indianapolis Colts.
2nd and 7. McDonald with a sack of Dustin Long, who is now in for Mark Ferris.
Good to see Dustin Long get in there, number 18. He's 6'2", 194-pound redshirt freshman. Good to see him take some snaps. Vance Smith has got an injury problem, and he was a backup quarterback, but he's not suited up here this afternoon.
Well, there's Mark Ferris, the 26-year-old junior quarterback. He, again, decided to play baseball out of high school. 6 years in the Pittsburgh Pirates organization. Dustin Long now at quarterback, and last time Dustin played in the Astrodome, it was for a high school state championship here. So he's a little familiar with the Astrodome, but a little different situation. Chad Pugh on the stop of Oshlor Fleming there.
Mark, how would you grade Ferris's performance as a quarterback this afternoon?
I'm not particularly impressed. 9 of 20, 191 yards and a touchdown. The big thing is no mistakes, no interceptions, but it could have gone either way, Coach. I wasn't impressed with his accuracy. His decision-making wasn't really tested that much, but again, I think if they get some players healthy around him, he's got a chance to be a pretty good quarterback, and I know he has aspirations to play in the National Football League. We're going to take a break now. Texas A&M leading 28-9, 2:25 left. Back after this. Welcome back to the GalleryFurniture.com Bowl, where A&M leads 28-9 with 2:25 left. And here's our Capital One player of the game, a true freshman, Byron Jones, who hadn't had an interception before, but today he records 3, playing in place of Sean Weston, who was a late scratch, the normal starter at the cornerback position with a hyperextended knee. And what a tremendous game it's been for this young man, Coach.
Not bad for a true freshman out of Bay City. Bay City is about an hour south of here. Very good high school football, and Byron Jones has really stepped up today. He's only 5'10", 171-pound freshman. Also, he's done a great job on special teams. He's been the first guy down there. He's had 4 tackles on special teams.
Exactly right. TCU tried to pick on him, but to no avail. A&M punts Jason Goss on the receiving end. No fair catch, and then fumbles the football. And they're signaling A&M. Adam Black, number 15, recovers the ball. And it goes from bad to worse. TCU's 5th turnover on the day.
Mark, you talked about the defensive scheme that Texas A&M runs using the 4 linebacker scheme, and that's exactly, they are very good on special teams because they got a lot of good skilled athletes. It forces you to go out and recruit more athletic type football players on the defensive side of the ball when you play all those linebackers.
Goss obviously trying to make a play, down 28-9, deciding not to fair catch it and make a play. Bad decision. He just drops him. Adam Black makes the recover. We want to remind you that the College Game Day Scoreboard Show is coming up next. Make sure you join Chris Fowler and the gang in the studio. A&M now will try to run out the clock as we tick down to 2 minutes.
Some young football players in the game now. Little fullback belly. Young quarterback Dustin Long, number 18, the redshirt freshman. Handing off to number 40. Got to check him on the roster.
Well, number 40 coach Kevin Mangum.
Kevin hadn't played much this year. I don't have him in my 2 deep, but that's good. It's good to see these young football players get a chance to play here in a bowl game. You know, people don't realize the sacrifice they make, the long hours that they put in during the summer conditioning, the winter conditioning program, serving on the scout team, things like that. They do a great job servicing the varsity football team.
This is Oshawa Fleming. He's gotten some carries now.
I'll tell you.
Kenneth Hilliard. And there it is.
Look out, RC. They're coming after you. RC going to be happy. It's good to win a bowl game.
It is. It's only his 3rd bowl win in 11 tries. And I think his son's setting him up there, Coach.
I think they're setting him up right here. They don't want him moving there. That's his son, Sean Slocum, right there on the sideline beside of him. Was a linebacker coach at Southern Cal a couple of years ago. Worked for my good buddy Bill Young out there as a defensive coordinator.
Brian Gamble, their captain and leader, defensive linebacker, congratulating him as Fleming gets the carry again up the middle. And there it is. It's been a long time since he's felt that, but I bet you it feels pretty good.
It feels real good. He's happy. I'm happy for him. He does. He, as I mentioned earlier, one of the most respected head football coaches in the game.
Don't forget that tonight on ESPN, Boston College meets Georgia, the Music City Bowl. And after the scoreboard show, 5 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock in Nashville, Tennessee, as Capital One Bowl Week continues. More college football information, log on to ESPN.com. Fleming to the right side, picks up nothing, and that's going to probably do it. The final play as the clock ticks down now, about 20 seconds to go, and this GalleryFurniture.com bowl.
I'll be surprised if they will not run another play. That's the kind of person RC is. A good effort, Mark, by both defensive football teams. A&M obviously had more athletes and won the football game. And TCU, we got to give them credit. They had a good year. They won those last 2 ball games. They beat Louisville. They beat Southern Miss, and to give them an opportunity to come to the bowl game.
Well, there's no doubt about that. Mark Ferris, who has really struggled, this football team, the A&M offense, only scoring 1 touchdown in their last 3 regular season games, gets some pretty good defenses and really kind of struggled. And Ferris came in and didn't make any mistakes, waited around that Texas A&M defense. really did a nice job in terms of creating turnovers. They battered Printers and created 4 interceptions. And our field reporter, Rob Stone, standing by now with R.C. Slocum. Rob?
And we end that 4-game bowl losing streak, and you get an ice shower to boot. What was the difference for you guys? That second half, you just opened it wide.
I just thought our defense really played solidly all day. Our offense hung in there. We knew it was going to be hard. This is a very good defensive team we were playing, but I was really pleased with the way we just hung in there as a football team, made the plays to win the game.
You challenged the Wrecking Crew defense earlier this season. Boy, did they respond in the second half. 5 turnovers. Looking up the scoreboard, -26 rushing yards. How good of a performance was that?
I'm really proud of them. They did a good job. Coaches did a good job, and I'm really proud of the whole football team.
Coach, we appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right. Well, congratulations to R.C. Slocum and the Texas A&M Aggies at 28-9 victory over TCU. And that's a wrap for this game. We'd like to join us over on ESPN News for John Cooper, Rob Stone, and our entire ESPN crew. I'm Mark Malone. Chris Fowler is in the studio now, and he'll have the post-game report. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.